click the like button. Okay, I just did. All right, so I think it's live. Good morning, my people. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know we are 30 minutes late today. Again, some technical difficulties going on in the background. But nonetheless, we are here. So thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Monachim Soaga, and I am here in Houston, Texas. I will have my sisters to introduce themselves. Sisters, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Augusta Nosiki. I'm in Richmond, Texas. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for popping up late. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Gus. And then we have my wonderful sister Ikwe in Kentucky.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eputas Simon Okube. Greetings from Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. You see, changing the culture of victims' mentality is a task we must now take very seriously. Victims are always at the receiving end. Victims lack the power to make changes. They always accept their fate as the will of God. The first step in solving any problem is identifying and accepting its existence. Some author somewhere said the opposite of victim's mentality is creativity. Creative people do not fall in love nor go into a romantic relationship with their problems. They always find ways to solve problems. If you believe that you and I have the power to create the world we want, the world we desire, please welcome to our show today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sister Ikwe. Thank you so much. Our topic today is Nigeria at 60. The people's right to self-determination. Nigeria at 60, the people's right to self-determination. As we all know, the country called Nigeria just celebrated their 60-year independence. Whereas it should be 60 years of slavery. So I think they are mistaken, thinking that they are an independent country. So in the face of massive bloodshed and injustice in one Nigeria that has become more of a concentration camp for annihilation, one would like to ask, is there an escape route? Why do we keep managing the bloody mistake of 1914? Professor Sibanjo and other handlers of Nigeria, lately they mentioned there's a crack in the walls of building, which is an indication there is a fundamental error. Even the Bible that we all read made it clear in Psalms 11:3 that if the foundation has been destroyed, the righteous cannot do much to hold up the collapsing structure. And that is why they are changing president from Gowon to Molitala to Obasanjo to Shagari, Babangida, Abacha, Goodluck, and now Buhari. All of those changes have not stopped the expansion of poverty or hunger in Nigeria. They are performing all sorts of cosmetic surgery on a constitution that has not stopped darkness, insecurity, corruption from expanding in that country called Nigeria. The more we deceive ourselves, the more we get worse. We have a popular saying that goes that a fool at 40 is a fool forever. What about a fool at 60? I guess a fool at 60 shouldn't have been born in the first place because they are just a waste of time, space, consuming oxygen for nothing. Therefore, Nigeria is a fool at 60. It's time for the indigenous people of Nigeria, those indigenous people that are caught in that contraption, to exercise their international recognized right to self-determination. It's time for us to stop fooling ourselves. It's time for us to stop thinking that we are an independent country. It's time for us to do the needful, if not for anything, for the future generation coming. Thank you. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Muna, and thank you, our viewers. Our special guest today is Ndidi Nwechwe. Ndidi Nwechwe is the daughter of late Ambassador Ralph Nwechwe from Ogwashi Ugu in Anioma Delta State. She is a British citizen and a retired London Metropolitan Police officer. Using her London police officer and life experiences, Ndidi Nwechwe saw that Nigeria needed a change in systems. Later, she realized that something more fundamental was needed, that is, dismantling these systems. As she privately researched how this could be done, she providentially came upon the Facebook site of the Lower Niger Congress, that's LNC, and then their website. She began to do further research and got to see that the LNC Eminent Alliance strategy was one that would transform the territory of Nigeria for the benefit of all the ethnic nationalities within it. Ndidi Nwechwe is a pro-social advocate, a Christian, and a defender of justice. She volunteers with a local NGO as a mentor, plus she also writes articles. So, Sister Mona, can we have the videos?
Yes. So we're going to play two videos for you guys. The first one is about 5 minutes. Due to the technical difficulty that we had earlier, we're not actually able to play the video per se. We're just going to listen to the audio. But just for 5 minutes. Thank you.
My dad used to come home drunk every day and hit me.
Of course, YouTube has to make their money, y'all. So let's see here. Yep. I can skip it.
Greetings from the Secretariat of the Lower Niger Congress. At this time that the country Nigeria is back on the trajectory we were before 1966 in terms of heading to elections in the face of a disputed constitution. This will be the beginning of a series of messages to get those of our people who see the dangers ahead, who are not carried away by the partisan noise, into an action process to help stop the politicians who are about to take us into an inferno of the type we saw before. We will all remember that there was the event of May 29, 1962, when this regional constitution of the Western region was suspended and Sola Busuda appointed for Western region, which introduced a chain of events that culminated in what we saw in 1964-65 elections, which consumed the First Republic. Of course, straight from those events, we had what became the war that consumed over 3 million people in eastern Nigeria. We are right back on that trajectory at this time as a country, and the politicians are not listening. They want to go to election by all means, whereas the constituents are disputing the constitution by which the winner will govern. Like we know, the Lower Niger Congress is a platform aggregating the self-determination initiatives across the greater eastern region, what I would call the eastern half of southern Nigeria. Some are doing what they call the Biafran agitation, then the Niger Delta their agitations. But what the Lower Niger Congress has done is to integrate all of those initiatives for self-determination, because that's what question Nigeria must engage now. Under what terms are we in this union? And it's not just the eastern part. We saw in September of 2017 when the Yoruba went out to the Solomon Assembly to declare that they will no longer accept this imposed constitution as basis of the union. Of course, from the middle belt, we've seen the killings going on. We heard when General Danjuma told the whole world that it was a matter of ethnic cleansing, and that immediately brings to the fore another question of how did we get to the point where a federal government will preside over, the killings of its constituents, very much like what we saw in 1966 when it was the turn of the Igbos to be killed. So what we have now is a situation where throughout the country people are being killed, and there's a federal government presiding over all of it. There's also a coincidence of the president of now being a Fulani in a situation where all the killings all over the place, fingers are pointing, not just fingers pointing, Fulani claiming responsibility for the killings. And it raises a whole basket of questions about what the Union of Nigeria has become for the constituents. Of course, it is a matter of public knowledge that Nigeria was not our project in 1914 when the British came in search of their own fortunes here. They imposed that union on us. But at the time we were heading to independence in 1960, there were discussions that went as far as the Lancaster House in London for the units that would federate, the regions that were governed as separate countries by the British during the colonial era. They had discussions on how they would proceed if the British left at the time they would leave in 1960. And what they agreed upon, was to be a federation of 3 regions. It was in that meeting of 1959 that they submitted, they ceded out of their powers to create a central, authority which became the federal government. 6 years down the road, all of those agreements collapsed, and from that point to this date, Nigeria has been an imposition from those who could overwhelm the rest, and the union became defined by decrees, the last of which was a decree number 24 of 1999, which we call.
Alright, so that will be the end of that video section, and the next one you may have heard it this week. This is the most current one, so it's gonna be about 10 to 12 minutes.
I did it. Get it right. Could that be one of the factors? We'll find out as we go on to Mr. Tony Nadi, who is a legal practitioner. He's a co-convener, Government for New Nigeria, and Secretary General, Lower Nigeria Congress. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sir Billy.
Well, so much that different perspectives really about what we need to do to be together, to continue being together and strengthen our resolve to stay together. Yes, we did put out a poll, which we'll come to much later. But in light of this theme that we've got, Nigeria 60 together, what stands out for you in that particular theme if we need to at least all achieve and point to what we can call the Nigerian dream?
Oh, well, I was just listening to the newspaper reports and all kinds of all the things that have been happening in the last, in course of this week, even just this week alone. And we had the Vice President raise alarm, Yemi Osinbajo, raise alarm that the walls of Nigeria are cracked, and that if nothing is done very urgently too, that the walls will come down, that the union might collapse on account of those cracks. And then we also saw people jump out from one section to condemn him for pointing out that crack. But the matter goes beyond the crack for us. It goes all the way. That crack, I sit here as a statesman, as one involved hands-on for 20 years plus, looking for solutions to these problems that are now prevalent and manifest everywhere. The cracks are coming from the foundation upon which we're building. The cracks didn't just happen overnight. The cracks came from the wrong foundation upon which we have insisted on building. And if we're discussing 60 years now, looking back at the fact that it was the election of independence that led to Awolowo being sent to prison, and the response to that leading to May 29, 1962 suspension of the constitution of the Western region of the time, leading further to the breakdown of law and order in Western region that became Wild Wild West, which was what the soldiers, Ademoyega, Njogwa and co, came in, young men who were just, looking out for their country. It was that commotion that they tried to come to arrest 6 years into independence. That was what became January 15 of 1966. And then the basic agreement for being in a union got truncated because we became a union because we were going to be a federation. We became a union because we were going to be a federation. The Sadona, we remember in 1953 when the motion for independence was moved, the northern delegation blocked it because they wanted more autonomy. They didn't want to be mixed up with people in such a manner that they would lose their identity, their culture, their control over their own affairs. And so the 8 points of demand that Sadona raised in rejecting that motion for independence in 1953 became the definition of the depth of autonomy which was acceptable to the North at the time to become part of the union that emerged in 1960. And so it was the collapse, it was the abandonment of that arrangement, which we call federalism, that became the reason for all of the other things that have now gone wrong. And I was just looking at the video of Senator Adeyeye's lamentations on the floor of the Senate. It is the constitution we have. I have a copy here too. The constitution that has emerged, the one that is on the table now, is the aggregation of all of the things that went wrong since this time, since the 60s, almost this last 55 years. So that's how we came. That's how we came to these cracks, building on that foundation that collapsed 6 years into our independence and refusing to listen to.
But the thing about that is that,
yes,
in spite of all,
yes,
we've had several constitution drafting committees, different governments, 60s, 70s, 90s, and I mean, at least many of them headed by civilians.
Yes.
And they said that they had gone round the country.
Yes.
In fact, Justice Nikitobi, when he headed, he said Nigerians opted for 1979 constitution. So many people they give the impression that, look, people had gone round, collated memorandum, and Nigerians opted for that 1979, which there isn't any fundamental difference between 99 and 79 anyway.
Yeah.
So where then lies the problem?
Well, we've been, when you choose to deceive yourself, you begin to reap the kind of outcomes we have now. The problem, which they've been evading, trying to avoid, but they are now face to face with the consequences of that recklessness of refusing to diagnose what the problem is, just deciding to treat, like doctors who do diagnosis before prescription, before treatment. What we've been doing in all this attempt to go do it this way or that way is we've been avoiding the diagnosis, the correct diagnosis. The problem is that constitution making is not the business of government. And what has happened, government is like, I'm sure our people can relate with companies and their memo and articles. The memo and articles of the company is the exclusive responsibility of the owners of the company to submit themselves into the enterprise, into what becomes XYZ Limited. And what happened to Nigeria in 1966 was that the managers, because the government is in the position of hired management, the owners of the enterprise are the ones who could have been countries of their own if not for the Union of Nigeria. Let's get that straight. And the discussion that must be had, the process that will lead to having a constitution that can stand, is a discussion between those shareholders of that enterprise called Nigeria. And who are those shareholders? We back up from behind 1960 to see a Western region that had their constitution as at their own constitution emerged as at 1957. Then Eastern region followed right after. And then it was in 1959 that the Northern region came to where they had their own constitutions. There are like 3 countries negotiating how to form some kind of union, like Germany and Portugal and Spain discussing whether they could form European Union. That was the kind of arrangement that Nigeria, was agreed to be. And from the point in 1966 when the 5 constitutions that defined that union got toppled by the hired management, because government in its 3 arms represent the hired management of the enterprise. The owners of the enterprise The Yoruba bloc that could be country of 55 million people, the Eastern bloc that could be country of 70 million people, forget about the divisions that were introduced in 3 days to the declaration of Biafra in 1997, then Northern region, that could be country of its own. And so
All right. Thank you. So we wanted to sort of, play this video for you guys to begin to get the idea, to set the tone, actually, for us to begin to set the tone for today's topic. Given that the full core Nigeria is 60 years of age, was it 2 days ago? So sisters, please go ahead.
Yeah, is the video, is the audio okay? Mr. Muna, your voice was kind of low. Please check that our volume is good.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Our viewers, please, the full version of these videos that we play, they're already in our website, in our wall, Facebook wall, Daughters of Truth, and you can follow the entire thing throughout. So thank you, our guest, Ndidi Owecho. It's a pleasure to have you in this show. So against the backdrop of what we have just listened to, and it seems clear that all the agitations that have been raging in different parts of Nigeria are simply constitutional grievances being expressed in various ways. Many believe that Nigerian 1999 constitution is not only imposed, but it is also forgery. It's a forgery. It appears also that the common strand running between demands of all the agitations is self-determination. Can you please help our viewers understand the connection between these two common grounds shared by the various agitation as that may provide, because that may provide a guide to understanding why the LNC and its eminent alliance partners seem to have found a potent handle to the otherwise complex and intractable problems of Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'll just say this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. What I'll say about the Constitution is this, that most people will assume that Nigeria's Constitution this year, that there's a problem with the Constitution. The Constitution is the key legal document. It's a social contract that the people of Nigeria will be using to live together. It will direct and guide to make sure that everybody's doing the right thing the right way. So I found out this year that the Constitution was actually imposed upon the people of Nigeria. That means that somebody one day said to them, hey, look, this is the way you're going to live. So that, for me, was a no-no, because that's injustice number one. These are not little children, little babies. These are grown adults. They have their own nations, and they should have been able to decide what they wanted and how they wanted to live. So that was number one, that it was imposed. Then when you go to the Constitution, the introduction is called a preamble, and it says that we the people made it. That is false. It's a lie. We the people did not make it. So when I found that out, I actually now became quite outraged. My background is I'm a Metropolitan Police Officer. That means a London police officer. And I spent quite a few years in CID where I investigated forgeries. So when I saw that this Constitution was not made by we the people, yet it says that we the people made it, that is actually a forgery because it's a lie. So it means that the whole document is null and void. It means it's not valid. It means it's illegitimate. And the only thing you can do with such a document is to put it in the dustbin. I've arrested somebody and they've got a fake passport. There's nothing that I can do to make that fake passport authentic. Mm-hmm. It is kept as an exhibit So the case goes to Crown Court in case there's an appeal. But after then requests that it gets destroyed. It's always destroyed. You cannot make it authentic. So the Constitution can never be made, the 1999 Constitution can never be made authentic. So I became quite outraged that some people were taking Nigerians for fools. They imposed a document that's a forgery. And I've been in Nigeria now for a few years, and I saw that the universities, the polytechnics, the colleges, the schools, they're not fit for purpose compared to what we're used to in the UK. So I realized that all this was done on purpose to make sure that the people will never understand what is happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
So this really, really, really upset me, and it still does when I think about it. So, and then on top of it, so it's been one insult and injustice upon another. It's been imposed, it's a forgery. And then the National Assembly, so that's the senators and the House of Representatives, they've been deceiving the people by saying that they can amend the Constitution. So all the exercises of constitutional amendments, they'll go to town halls and, take a lot of money to do it. It's all a sham and it's all a deceit. As I said, you cannot amend it. You cannot amend such a document. And also, for what needs to be done, it wouldn't even be the National Assembly that would do it. What needs to be done is we need to make new constitutions. And there's a proper process to do it. And because the powers that be, the politicians, the top civil servants, some of your traditional rulers, they are benefiting from Nigeria the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do their utmost to deceive Nigerians more and more. And those who will suffer it the most are the ethnic nations of the Middle Belt, of Oduduwa, and of the Lower Niger Block, which is the Southeast and South-South. So the public of these three blocks really need to understand what is going on, because it's actually very simple. The 1999 Constitution is a forgery. That means it's null and void. That means it must be put in the dustbin, torn up, put in the dustbin, and new ones made. Now, the way that new ones are made is you first take down this Constitution, which means you get rid of it. Then you have to go to a referendum, first of all. You have to do a referendum. So when you take down this Constitution, now, because the sovereignty is with the people, so the ethnic nations, they will then arrange and organize for the referendum in their blocks. So the Yorubas will do their referendum and bring their result. Southeast and South-South are together in a block. So the Ijaw, the Ogoja, Ogoni, Igbos, Ikwere, we will all do our own referendum, and we will be asked one question. Do you want to be in this union? It's either yes or no. And then we bring the results. The same for the Middle Belt. The different ethnic nationalities, the Jukun, Igala, Tiv, all of them will do the referendum in that block and bring the results. Arawa will do their referendum and bring their results. That is the only way to do it, to get it right. So what will happen is that people are going to say, to do the referendum in your zones. That's not correct. It's to be done by ethnic nationalities. So that is so important that we keep hold of that. That is, the ethnic nationalities in their blocks do the referendum. Now, while they are doing this referendum, because everything is logical, you've taken down the Constitution. It's this illegitimate Constitution that keeps the Union. So when you take it down, you now have your sovereignties back, and you're back to what we were before the Europeans came here. Our forefathers were living in their ancestral lands without any problems. And because we're back to that situation where you have your sovereignty and your self-determination back, we have to have an interim government. Some of you will get all alarmed, and I'm just telling you, please do not get alarmed. This happens all the time, and we have experts who know what to do. So don't get alarmed. The experts will show us the way to get it done. So we'll have an interim government while the referendum is being done. Once we get the results, if we say, yes, we want to be in a union, those who want to be in a union will now organize a constituent assembly. That's a group of people who will be the representatives. The people will choose it, and they will make that constitution that will keep the union. If it's no, we don't want to be in the union, then we will go in our blocks. Middle Belt will be a nation, a federation. Lower Niger block will be a federation, Oduduwa, a federation, and then Arawa. Arawa has taken Sharia, so I'm not too sure what Arawa will do, because they've already taken up Sharia as their form of self-determination. But that's what will happen. So to keep it very clear and very simple, the first thing is to take down the Constitution, which means to discard it, to abandon it, to jettison it. You then have an interim government. Nothing scary. It happens all the time. Right now, Sudan has an interim government. The United Nations is supervising it. So we have an interim government when we do a referendum in our blocks according to our ethnic nations.
Thank you, Sister Ndidi, for making this clarification. It's really important that our people do understand the process, and I think you have done a good job explaining the step-by-step process that we need to get where we're going. Again, we keep emphasizing that in order for us to do anything whatsoever, we must take down this 1999 Constitution. And from what Sister Ndidi is saying, as soon as this is done, it's like the power will return really to the people. Then that will give you the impetus to start demanding for stuff and asking for things to be done right. Right now, because we are under a null and void constitution, we are just existing. It's like criminals have taken over our land and they're telling you what to do. I saw a beautiful picture of someone posted online. He said that it was a one man standing and the rest of them kneeling on the floor. And people, all he was holding was a cane over them. And when they realized that even with the cane, he may be able to take us some, but you can actually get him to bow. So we need to understand that once power returns to the people, and we can take this power back, because the criminals are in our land running our nation. So it's time for us to wake up. So, Sister Ndidi, you did not only relocate to Nigeria, but you were actively involved in making a difference. Your personal mission was to use every available resources that you have to produce a safe and more caring Nigeria. You even went ahead and developed and promote the culture of alternative culture to confront and challenge the negatives of what goes by Nigerian culture. But in all of this, your farming investment, your agricultural business plan, and hopes were destroyed by trespassing Fulani herdsmen at Ido Ogushi in Delta State. So can you please narrate to the audience what really happened?
Yes. Before coming to Nigeria, we started a farm. Edo Oguashi Kingdom is the ancestral land, my ancestral land. So we were having no problems because, all this while. And I came in 2015. We had bamboo fencing around the farm because you put what you can afford. So, we didn't have a brick wall, but we had bamboo fencing. We had some workers, about 8 workers in the farm. And this farm was going to be the way I was going to make the money to sustain myself while I'm here. Plus, it was, it's a dream that I wanted to do. I wanted it to be an experimental farm. Always, my free meat is pork. I love my ham. I love my bacon. And I have different kinds of hams, from the cheaper ones to the more expensive ones. And I wanted to begin to introduce hams into Nigeria. So it's going to be an experimental farm that if anybody wanted to do something new, we would put our hands up, we can try it in our farm. Plus, it was going to be a homestead, because here people have subsistence farming because they don't use technology. So they'll have a piece of land and they're not making much from the land. In the UK and in the West, people may have even smaller bits of land, but they use technology and you call it a homestead.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make all sorts of goodies, and it's a homestead and you're making money and you can live well off it. So this was the plan. So there we were in 2015, no problems. Now, I came about a day after Buhari got sworn in. So we still had no problems until January 2016. All of a sudden, Fulani heard on fire several times. They allowed their animals into the crops. We had put in about 2009 palm seedlings in August 2015, all those gone. We already had some palm trees with the fruits that were ripe and everything. They set those on fire, all destroyed.
What?
Apart from the land. Yes, apart from the land that we had bought. Sorry, I have something in my throat. Apart from the land we had bought, we leased neighboring land, because that neighboring land that we leased has a well. And Ogwashu is on a plateau. It doesn't get as much rain as Asaba. Asaba is about 20 minutes drive away. So we needed the well. These Fulani herdsmen destroyed the well. We had cashew trees. What else? Okay, we put some tomato plants. They destroyed all those. The cassava stolen and destroyed. Plantain suckers. I don't know what happened to those. Either they destroyed them or stole them. I really don't know. They all vanished. So essentially, they so destroyed the farm. And I was worried for the life of the workers who were being harassed. I had to shut down the farm, and we lost all our investments.
Oh my goodness.
And no compensation. Now, it's not only my farm that's been damaged in that way. Other farms, and go for walks for exercise, and I've been going for walks here. I now cannot walk in the farms and fields because of fear of what the herdsmen can do. So I now walk within the town. And even as you go within the town, soon you'll be out of the town to where the people have the farms. And I speak to some of the farmers. The Fulani herdsmen are in camp there. They steal the corn, they steal the cassava, and they're acting as if they own the land.
Wow.
Effectively, because I can't walk around, like I want to, I feel that I'm in a siege condition, that I've got all these Fulani who are hostile towards us because they show that they're hostile. They're trespassing on our farms, destroying our crops, preventing farming from going on. And when farming does go on, it's not at the level that we need to for food security. So all these things are going on right now. So this is why I talked about the Constitution, but I didn't talk about self-determination. This is why self-determination is key. Without it, I will be as I am, which is I cannot go for a walk in the fields and farms of my ancestral lands because these trespassers called Fulani herdsmen are there. And they're not friendly. And they're there. And this is the problem. So we need self-determination. Self-determination that you are in charge of your life. I wrote an article recently on self-determination, and I said that the opposite of it, so that we will really understand what is going on, is slavery. Mm-hmm. Self-determination means you can choose what you want. So you have personal self-determination, like what I'm wearing today, I chose it. If I was a slave, somebody would tell me what to wear. As I am, I wake up when I want to. I'm retired, I don't have a boss. So I wake up when I want to. If I was a slave, somebody's going to tell me when to wake up. As I am, I eat what I want. If I was a slave, somebody's going to tell me what to eat or give me what to eat. And it's the same for nations. If a nation, let's say the Igbo nation, if they have self-determination, they will be able to have control of their lives and property. So their lives would be that, they would decide what kind of education their children would have. They would decide what kind of housing their kids would have. They would decide how many bridges we would have across the River Niger. Because I'll tell you this, it's actually shameful and disgraceful that there's only one Niger bridge from Onitsha to Asaba. There's only one. I have been to Newcastle upon Tyne in the north of England on my way to 7 bridges. So that area should have had 3 or 4 bridges at the very least. Some bridges would be carrying trains. Some would be, just foot bridges. So that would be people on bicycles and on foot. And you can have a mixture of bridges, like a bridge. One level has the train, then the lower level has cars. But we should have had 3, 4, or 5 bridges. Instead, we've only got 1 since independence because we don't have self-determination.
Right.
So things like that. What else? Things like, why don't we have trains? By now, 60 years since independence, I should have been able to just get on a train from Ogwashuku and go to Enugu, get on a train and go to Lagos, get on a train and go to Abuja. All my life, because I've lived all my life either in Paris or in England, I've been using trains. You just sit there on the train, and I'm reading books. I've read a whole lot of books because I've been able to sit on a train. If it's a fast train, because I go to my sister and I go to Cheshire. So if it's a fast train, they have a buffet. So you can even buy food if you don't want to bring your own food. The other ones which are not the fast trains, somebody will come by with a trolley or you buy your food at the train station before you get onto a train. So all these things like trains, people don't have it because you don't have self-determination. And it's this constitution that has stolen your right to self-determination. And the ruling elite, they have made you terrified of this word self-determination. It's a lovely word. And it's a word, I'd rather use that word than use the word slave. I'd rather have self-determination than be a slave. It's a very good word. And you have to, use it and be proud of it because it's a word, it's a God-given principle. And the United Nations, it's a cardinal principle of the United Nations. The United Nations insists that we should have self-determination. In the UK, we have self-determination. It's the United Kingdom. So you've got the Scottish, the Welsh, the English, and the Northern Irish. They make up the United Kingdoms, and they have self-determination. So you'll have the Scottish Parliament, and that would be how they have their self-determination, but they're still part of the United Kingdom. So it is something that we're supposed to have. But the powers that be have decided, no, people of the Middle Belt, you're not going to have it. People of the Duduwa, you're not going to have it. And people of Lower Niger Block, you're not going to have it. So what's been happening in Nigeria is that those people who do have self-determination for themselves, they also now want to determine the life for you. And that's why we only have one Niger bridge in the 21st century. And that keeps us backward. We've not actually left the Stone Age or the Iron Age. Okay, here I am. I'm sitting outside. You may not have noticed. I'm sitting outside with a mobile phone. It's got a new battery, so it's going to last, for this show. I had
Okay, so it looks like she's having, we're having some connectivity issue.
Is that not the problem we're saying? It's not what we're...
Exactly.
Is that not what we're talking about?
And
We can't even have the right to have a meaningful conversation with our sister.
this morning.
Is manifesting.
This evening, I'm going to use the jet. All right. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try not to move my head. So things like electricity. It's the Constitution that's depriving you of it, because it's depriving you of self-determination. So even if some people in Owashi could make electricity for all of us in Owashi 24/7, they're not able to because of this Constitution.
Right.
And it's also, things like the levels of corruption that we have in the country. It's because we don't have self-determination. Because we would not have lived in a way that, our schools have no electricity, our schools have no water, our schools have no toilets. And when I'm saying these things, I'm telling you the truth, because I've been to a school here in the village, because there's a little girl, she's 14, she stays with my mom. So I went to her school one day to just see, it's a primary school, to just see, although she's 14, she's in primary school. There's no toilet whatsoever in the school.
Wow.
There's not a drop of water whatsoever in the school. There's no electricity whatsoever in the school. I saw these rough looking benches that I wouldn't even use, even in the 60s when I was in primary school. And there were holes in the roof. So if it was raining, the rain would pour in. This is what they call a school. Nobody in England would call that thing school. It's because we don't have self-determination to organize ourselves and to do what we need that all these things are happening.
Right.
Now, there's something recent that we need to be aware of, those of us in the Middle Belt, Oduduwa, and Lower Niger Block. Last week, it came out that the DSS, that's the Department of State Security, they were doing some hidden recruitment. The head of it is somebody called Bichi. He's from Arawa. He was secretly recruiting people from the north. So the figures that came up in the newspaper were there were 535 new recruits from the north as opposed to 93 from the south. On the face of it, many Nigerians will say, that's it. Arawa people are having more jobs than us. It's more than jobs. I'm a police officer, and as a police officer, I had power to go into people's personal records as a police officer. Yes, like when I was in CID, I could investigate somebody and I needed details about their bank accounts. I'd have to go to the Crown Court and I would explain to the judge what I needed it for, but I got it 100% of the time. I get it. Certain warrants, I'll get it. I'll get all sorts of information that I needed. So when you have these officers who are in the DSS, they are going to have access to information.
That's how they steal all our stuff.
That is personal. And they were recruited secretly, and there's so many of them. So they're going to know, they can actually tap into your phone. We can do tapping into people's phones. We can do all sorts as Metropolitan Police. And they're going to have access and power to all this. So the danger it is putting the people of the Middle Belt and South, it is imperative. If we could do the constitutional force majeure, we should actually do it today before all this ripens. Because these people are now going to, if there's anybody who says, no, I don't want to be enslaved, these Arawa people in the DSS are going to use their powers to shut that person down. Wow. We've already seen what has happened to Dr. Malaifa of the Middle Belt, Dr. Obadiah Malaifa. A lot of us have seen the video. He was able to expose what Boko Haram has planned to do in 2022 civil war and all these things. I watched the video, I watched his body language, then I went and I saw the full video, and to me, the man was saying the truth. He's trained, I think it's in Oxford or Cambridge. He was a deputy governor of CBN. He's not an idiot. And his people are being killed in a slaughter. So it is so it's important that we get. Now, can I read from an article? Am I able to read bits of an article?
Go ahead.
Okay. This article is written by somebody called Bernard-Henri Lévy. I have been hearing about him since my childhood in Paris. He is a world-renowned French intellectual and philosopher. This man wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal, and it's not everybody who can write in the Wall Street Journal, and the Wall Street Journal will not take articles that may make them to be sued. So they will verify the information that they have, and this is written. It was published in December, just before Christmas last year. And I'll put the link on my Facebook page because it is so important that Nigerians know what is going on. So I'll read parts of it. It's titled, The New War Against Africa's Christians. So it goes here. A slow motion war is underway in Africa's most populous country. It's a massacre of Christians, massive in scale and horrific in brutality, and the world has hardly noticed. I now go down. This is Bernard-Henri. He is now saying, sorry, it's not Bernard-Henri. It's a Nigerian from an NGO who meets him when they're abroad. And this Nigerian from an NGO says to him, please come to Nigeria and analyze what you see. And so this Nigerian is saying, I beg you, he said, come and see for yourself. Now, Bernard-Henri, he says, knowing of Boko Haram, but nothing of the Fulani, I accept. He then comes to Nigeria in 2019, and he says he meets a beautiful woman named Jumai Victor, who's 28. She says, Fulani extremists stormed into her village on long saddle motorcycles, that's 3 to bike, Allahu Akbar, or children before her eyes. Some didn't want to see her belly slit, so they compromised by cutting up and amputating her left arm with a machete. Let me go further on. Now, this is somebody else, another woman called Linda David, 34, who's telling her story of survival. This is in the Middle Belt. Her first night there, this woman is in her village. Her first night there, sentinels woke her with a whistle. She left the house to find flames spreading around her. Fulani surrounded her. Then she heard a voice, come this way, you can get through. She did, and her putative savior leapt out of the underbrush, cut 3 fingers off her right hand, carved the nape of her neck with his machete, shot her, doused her body with gasoline, that's petrol, and lit it. She somehow survived. A few weeks later, she returned to her village and learned that the raiders had leveled it the same night. Her husband was among the 72 they murdered. Okay, now Bernard-Henri, he visits different parts of the Middle Belt, and he goes on to say, I visit the ruins of a burned down church. I spot another church intact. A man emerges to yell at me in English that I don't belong there. Stalling, I learned that he is Turkish, a member of a religious mutual assistance group that is opening madrasas for the daughters of Fulani. He carries on in his journey to find out what's going on, and he goes somewhere else, and he says this, maize rots in the abandoned fields. The local Christians have been killed or are too terrorized to come out and harvest it. In the distance are clusters of white smudges, the Fulani herds grazing on the lush grass. When we approach, the armed shepherds wave us off. This is happening in the Middle Belt.
Every day.
He goes on, and this man, as I said, the Wall Street Journal is not going to publish it if they didn't have evidence, because they'd be sued for saying stuff like this if it's not true. I'm going to go on and say, Bishop Kwashi describes the Fulani extremists' pattern. They usually arrive at night. They are barefoot, so you can't hear them coming unless they're on a motorcycle. Sometimes a dog sounds the alert, sometimes a sentinel. Then a terrifying stampede, whirling clouds of dust, cries of encouragement from the invaders. Before villagers can take shelter or flee, the invaders are upon them in their houses, swinging machetes, burning, pillaging, raping. They don't kill everyone. At some point they stop, recite a verse from the Quran, round up the livestock, and retreat. They need survivors to spread fear from village to village, to bear witness that the Fulani raiders fear nothing but Allah and are capable of anything.
Wow.
Now they're coming at night. So all this thing about farmer-herders clashes is a lie. Something is going on and the middle belt are facing it. And we need to recognize what is going on. This man is a Frenchman and he's writing this because of what he sees. Let me carry on.
We don't even, Sister Ndidi, it's not even just the Frenchman. We have first-hand eyewitness here on our show, Jonathan, that even when he was on the show, he was being called that people are being massacred. So it's appalling. And this is the reason why we are here to insist on this constitutional takedown. We cannot have a nation with terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, who are willing to do all they can. Even you mentioned food. When they destroy your farm, it wasn't to put terror. It was mainly to make sure that we don't have any food, so that they can use food to turn most of us into Muslims. Because once there is hunger, right, you have to choose. So here, come and get food. Now you have to wear jihad in order for you to get a bag of rice. All these things are strategic. And we're telling our men, you cannot be playing politics with the lives of our children, planning to go to presidential election 2023 because you have the jet to fly off when anything happens, while your children lives in your apartment in London. And we're telling we cannot do this any longer. This is not about you guys anymore. We have sat around, plead with you guys, prayed, even fasting and praying for 21 days. That's why we are all skinny after having 4 children. Fasting and praying. We are no longer fasting and praying. We are going to do what works. And what works is that we need to wake up the conscience of our people for them to realize that power belongs to them. We need to chase these enemies because right now, you said it. Our constitution is null and void. We have criminals. This is just gang members. Criminals taking over our land, doing whatever they want to do, while our so-called men are in business enterprise with them. They get their cut, they come and mellow us down, and the evil continue to fester in our land. We are sick of it.
Stamuna, I want to remind our viewers of something, because there's something she mentioned. You see, this is the map we have shown people in this program. You see, we told you that these criminals are coming in. Their destination is this end. And they told us this 200 years ago. We are watching them swallow us alive. Like she said, they are in middle belt. They are here, in the middle here. That means this place has been conquered. That's why they were able to introduce Sharia law here. This upper green place, the houses used to live here. But they have been conquered. They don't have secular constitution anymore. They now have Sharia law. That's what the entire area has been conquered. And they are killing whatever that is left. Now they are here in the middle here. They are about finishing up here. And when they are done, here and here is their next destination.
No other
So
choice.
we are telling our men, like my sister said, we are not even begging you people anymore. We the mothers, we will not watch you do politics with the lives of our children. We will do what it will take, whatever it will take under God, to make sure that we are not conquered. We will seek help. We will do everything possible. If you want to be playing politics, we are not doing that with you anymore. Very soon we begin to call names on this platform of people that should get out of our ways. Get out of our way, because we are here to make a change, a lasting change. We are not begging. We insisting because we are the owners of the land. And that is what we're going to do. We will safeguard the land. We will safeguard the people. Thank you.
It's sickening. It's sickening, my sister. So now they have recruit from Turkey coming to help them do their bidding.
Exactly.
And our men are here sleeping, turning around with their fat stomachs, sleeping in hotel rooms, sucking penises, whatever they are doing in there. And we're telling you that people are coming to take our land, and all you can think is about your private parts. That's all you can think about. How much people can suck on your private part from morning to night. And we're telling you this is no longer a joke. My sister just showed you guys a map. They are coming in day by day. I know the rich ones. And this is what we are telling people. The rich ones, they have already made their plans. They are their business partners. They already told them they are coming. They are coming for you and me, the poor ones. So stop following Peter Obi. Stop following all these fat stomach men. Anyone that have been in politics, all this while they've been there, nothing has happened. They are not in there for you. They are in there for what they can get for themselves. Please wake up, people. Wake up. It's only women that can tell you guys this. Remember when Jesus died? Before he died, he was with his men. They were eating and drinking. He even washed their feet. Guess what? When he died, it was the women that will say, let's go and oil that our son. Let's go and check on him. Were the men there? No. They weren't there to do the needful. And that's what we're here. We're standing in the gap for you guys now, telling you all, before these men cross that land and come over, nobody will help you guys. This is the time for you guys to do the needful. Do not let anyone from their stupid assembly tell you they are doing referendum for you. We, the people of the land, will do the referendum for ourselves. We don't need criminals entity running our enterprise anymore. We are done with their businesses. Enough is enough. We need the great men of the land to wake up and do the needful. This is no longer about you and your penises. This is about our children and the future generation. We are sick of it. We are sick of it. Everything cannot be about penises when it comes to a black man. You guys are not the only one that have long john under your pants. Chinese people have long johns. Indian people have long johns. They are producing technology. You guys are using yours to destroy our girls, have children that you cannot take care of, and leave us to die in the hands of the Fulanis. We are sick of it. Cut off your penis if you don't know how to control it. Cut it off. It's useless. Start using your brain. Start using your brain. Look at what this sister is telling us. They are coming down. They are coming down and you guys are playing games. You think it's about how much money you can get. You think about radio broadcast you can have. You think it's about your mom and your dad. We are telling you the lives of our children is in danger and you guys are there playing games. Disgusting, despicable.
They think it's about their stupid ego. Who will lead? Who will do this? A system. LNC has brought a protocol, a system, something that can work for us. This one will come from one angle. It is my own. This one will come from angle. I'm in charge of this. How is that going to deliver us, people? Look at the protocol, a plan that was a 20-year-old plan, step by step to self-determination. It's very clear that even a child in primary 5 can understand it. But our stupid men have refused to understand it. They think it's about their ego. Today you hear this voice audio. Tomorrow is that voice audio shouting nonsense. This is a protocol that can work. It has worked everywhere. Like my sister, you heard her when she introduced it. She explained it step by step. She wasn't part of it. In her search to get solution to her people, she stumbled upon it. She examined it as a police officer. London police officer, not in your village, cow security. London police officer. She examined it. It made sense to her. She said, this is good. Let's go with it. Then I'm here dealing with market men and women. Dealing with, I don't want to use word this morning. Do not get me there. Do not get me there. Empty brains, do not get me there. My sister talks so much about private part because in medicine, whatever that is more active is where blood flows to. It will render the brain redundant. If you eat a lot, the blood vessels, the collateral will develop in your stomach. Then most of the blood will go to your stomach. You are unable to use your brain. If you go to the private area store, you have collateral developing there, and most of the blood cells and everything will go there. Now your brain will die. You are not able to reason anymore. And the simple things that we explain to you cannot make sense to you. Do you understand why these things work like this? And that's why we're saying enough of your bullshit. Our women did it 1929. We will repeat it this era. Our children will not die.
No.
Our land will not be taken.
We are not going to watch you guys anymore.
We will insist.
We are not going to
We will insist.
Oh, no.
We will see to it that our land is not taken and our people are not consumed. Please,
I'll still say a bit more, because these things are so important, because we need our self-determination so we can save ourselves. This man then goes on to say that Westerners here, that means in Nigeria, depict the Fulani extremists as an extended, rampant Boko Haram. They then go on to say, these Fulani people, the herdsmen, they are teaching elite Fulani militants to handle more sophisticated weapons that will replace their machetes. Yet, whereas Boko Haram are confined to perhaps 5% of Nigerian territory, the Fulani terrorists operate across the country. Then they go on to say that the villagers only have, a few meager weapons to defend themselves, like bows, and that when the army comes through after the attacks, soldiers tell the villagers their paltry weapons are illegal and confiscate them. Then the driver of this Frenchman says, what do you expect? The army is in league with the Fulani. We go on to say in July 2019, a spokesman for the president said in a statement, no one has the right to ask anyone or group to depart from any country, whether north, south, east, or west. That even though we've got Fulani herdsmen trespassing on farms, destroying farms, killing people, you cannot ask them to leave. Our kings and our elders and chiefs cannot ask them to leave. So we have to stay with people killing us and destroying our property. Why? Because we have no self-determination. We are being treated as a slave.
Sister Ndidi, do you know the worst part of this is that our people don't even know what's going on. They will rather watch Big Brothers. They will rather watch some advert somewhere. They will rather watch somebody shaking her boom boom on the radio or TV or whatever. They don't even know that their life is in danger. Like somebody is trooping down to come and take you out. And the international community is not coming home. You have to do something about it. And that's what we want you guys to get. Go ahead and join whoever you want to join. Watch whatever you want to. Just play the games that you're playing. While you are busy eating your New Yam festival, marrying your wife, doing whatever, you're asking yourself, are you going to be here in the next hour? That should be your next question. How likely am I to be here in the next hour? This is not a joke. They have conquered the top part. They're in the middle part. They are coming down. And our men are getting ready for election 2023. Our people don't know what's going on. That's why they will never let you have electricity. So that you will never listen to radio news. Even their news is fake. Even their news is fake. The one they are giving you is fake. So it's like you have to go and do the needful, because if not, you will be there and somebody will come and kill you while you're doing your New Yam festival, while you're having your August meeting. This is not about your village anymore. This is not about building clinic in your village. This is not about building lockers for school that doesn't have a roof. This is more than all of that. We are talking about our lives are endangered. All of us are in grave danger. So here we are now telling you guys to do the needful. We're waking people up, and as we are speaking, people are building more hotels so they can sleep with more 16-year-olds, because that's the only thing Africa can do. And then when you touch a man, they will say, I can eat 3 square meals. Wow, no wonder you're pregnant and you're not even a female. That's the only thing you can do. You're pregnant, you're eating 3 square meals. When we are telling you your counterparts are building technology, go to Silicon Valley, go and see if there's any pregnant man there. This is despicable.
it's actually so important that we get the importance of self-determination, because without it, you're a slave. Here I am, I'm a police officer here. I have enough knowledge to secure this village if I was able to. But my skills and knowledge is wasted because we have no self-determination. Everybody is waiting for is it DG? I don't know, the head of the police of this.
The Fulani head of police now. The Fulani head of police.
There you go. And then this man is going on. He's saying their stories because he speaks to several people. And he says that their stories tend to validate claims of the government's complicity. This government is complicit with the Fulani herdsmen killing of people. Then they go on. I'll just say these because I know that many people don't read to get this message. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay. He says, I also meet some Fulani,
Look at that.
The first time by chance, track a hut and 2 armed men. No passage, says one, wearing a jacket on which are sewn badges in Arabic and Turkish. This is Fulani land, the holy land of Usman Dan Fodio, our king, and you whites can't come in. Did you guys hear that?
Yes. The Fulani terrorists, you know about them,
Can you hear what they're saying? I didn't know this because the news in this country, they're not carrying this out.
No.
Everybody is terrified. No. They're terrified. And
they pay
Sister
Ndidi, if you think about it, they're waiting for the channel news to give them good story. They're waiting for all these fake local channels to give them good. If they tell you the truth, they will come and arrest them. So don't ever sit there and expect them to tell you the truth. Don't ever sit there and tell you the truth. Even we that are here will have more information than you, because for one thing, they won't let you have electricity. You have to charge your phone to get to use your phone. You have to pay to get data. You have to do all this, and they make it impossible for you to get the information that you need in order for you to make the right decision. And we're telling you guys,
exactly,
it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to do the right thing. It's time for us to insist on this constitutional force majeure to be done yesterday, not even today. To be done fast. That whatever you're doing, whether you're playing games thinking you can run security, run this one, run, which security are you running? How am I going to pay you to run the security of a country or of a nation? Please, enough of this BS. This is more than we can take.
Are you hearing the type of people they're talking about? Is it the air you have that you want to use to secure my people? They're saying that even the constitution will not allow you to have arm. Will not arm yourself. Did you hear when they said that the army people came and removed the security, the people that had something to defend themselves? They came and removed them from here. I said that the constitution of Nigeria will not allow Nigerians to be armed. Did you hear what she read?
These people, man. Do you know the worst part of all of this? If we all get caught up in this, our men won't do anything. No, we all be stuck together with them. Looking at their stuff stomach. That's why we are not going to wait for the building, for the wall to fall before we do anything. Because these people do not have any plan to rescue us from it when it happens. They do not have any plans. It's all about what can they get. How many hotel rooms can I go to? That's in Kechina Agafeni Holom. Here, when can I corner her and do one to her? That's what they are thinking. Wake up, people. They don't have any more brain. Our men are gone. All their blood is going to their private parts. They is going to the sisters. Wake up. Wake up. They will get you pregnant to have another child while they are killing the one you just gave birth to yesterday. Wake up.
Well, in this article, I'll just do the last few bits because, as I said, it's a long article, but I think that Bernard Henry, he must have been so appalled with what he said, with what he saw, that he had to write this for his conscience. And he goes on to say that it's a village of Fulani nomads who carried out a tiny localized Fulanization after the Christians cleared out. What they're doing is they're taking over our ancestral land. He then said that he saw Christians, survivors of the Middle Belt massacre, who live in a camp for displaced persons. So the Fulani will live in your ancestral land, and you're going to be a refugee in an IDP camp. This is what's happening if you're not killed. This white man, a Frenchman, who's never heard of Fulani before, he's the one who's writing this. He then goes on to say that he actually was looking for Fulani to talk to, and he met one in Lagos. And this is what the Fulani said, the Fulani person he spoke to. There are too many Christians in Lagos, says Abdallah, who looks to be in his 40s. The Christians are dogs and children of dogs. You say Christians, to us they are traitors. They adopted the religion of the whites. There is no place here for friends of the whites who are impure. A postcard vendor joins the group and offers me portraits of Osama bin Laden. Al-Qaeda is now here, Osama bin Laden, and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He agrees the Christians will eventually leave and Nigeria will be free. Now, I'll just do the last two paragraphs. Some professional disinformers will try to reduce the violence here to one of the inter-ethnic wars that inflame Africa. They'll likely find here and there acts of reprisals against the Fula and Hausa. But as my trip concludes, I have the terrible feeling of being carried back to Rwanda in the 1990s, to Darfur and South Sudan in the 2000s. Will the West let history repeat itself in Nigeria?
Course, because
will we wait as usual until the disaster is done before taking notice? Will we stand by as international Islamic extremism opens a new front across this vast land? So this is how he ends his article.
Sister Ndidi, can you send us the link? Can you send us the link for that article so we can post it on our page? Yeah. So
yes, I will. Okay, I'll do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Because my mother, I actually read this article to my mom. She's 85, and she became, her heart, she's got heart problems. She became very agitated and said, I need to tell people about it. But okay, so the self-determination, we've talked about the way that we cannot even secure ourselves. If you look at what's happening in the Middle Belt, they are slaughtering people with torture. So it's not shooting somebody with a gun. You'll die quickly. This is a painful way of dying. I have also seen and heard that they do rituals with people's bodies because it's all part of this voodoo, juju stuff as well. That's what they're also doing. And they are reveling in what they're doing. They're enjoying the slaughter.
Of course.
The Lower Niger Block. The Lower Niger Block is a Christian block. So you can imagine how they're going to be killing the people of the Lower Niger Block. All right? So, and this is why we need self-determination. Another reason we also need self-determination, because indeed we will keep on saying that we are rich.
You are not rich. If you are not a policymaker, you are not rich. One policy, I will bring you down. One policy, even if you are selling cement, I will change you to Dangote cement. One policy. So you don't have any money if you're not a policymaker. Don't get it twisted.
There you go. There you go. I think we need to get that in our heads because we actually witnessed it. Some of us, like I was alive, I was only about 4 years old when the Civil War started. But even the rich Igbo people were given 20 pounds. That's another crime, and nobody has sorted that out. The international courts have not sorted it out. Nobody has sorted it out.
They cannot. The blood is going to the private parties, and they don't expect them to do too much.
Okay. But that's why you need self-determination. You need, not only do you need to have money in the bank, you need to have power over that money in the bank. Because whoever has power over your money in the bank has your money. I'll tell you what happened in Argentina in the year 2000. Argentina could not pay a certain debt. So the government of Argentina dipped its hands into people's savings accounts and took the people's money and paid the debt. What? Because we're talking about Argentina, later on in the year, they put the money back. But the Nigerian, whoever's in charge of Nigeria, can dip their money in your bank account and take your money, and that is it. So, you're only as rich as they allow you, because you're a slave as long as you do not have self-determination. That means power over the money in your bank. And so we must get self-determination.
Do you know this is no more in the future? It's happening now. It does that. It's happening for PDP people, because all the PDP or whatever they call themselves, all the money they saved in their accounts. I have personal contact of people that were contracted. This job was contracted to them. I have a friend that is an accountant. She was recruited for this job. It's the government. They are already doing that. They went into their accounts, started mopping up things. They say it's federal government money that was scattered. Going into people's savings and taking it, and they cannot say anything.
Because they stole it, Ndori. They stole it. This is what happens when you dirty your hands. Because if you guys were working with your people, even if somebody comes against you, we will stand with you. But because you guys are doing wuru, you go and take your own share, collect your own share. When they take it back, which mouth are you gonna use to tell me? Did you tell me when they gave you the share? Did you tell me when you collected the share?
To their Fulani brother, they take it, and right where you're watching, they share it to their Fulani brothers, and you'll be watching them. You see what they're doing. Like my sister said, you don't have power to say anything because you have worked against your people for years. So there's nothing you can do.
These our men, man. These our men, they are worthy of being burnt down, every one of them. Especially all of them that have been in politics forever. They're supposed to gather them, throw them in the Mediterranean Sea, or better yet, set them ablaze, let them burn to hell. What kind of people are you guys? What kind of people are you guys that we were sitting? Even when they did all the things they did to us after the war, none of you went back to re-strategize. And you said instead all you learned is to trick us. Now it's Bob English, church, which other one? The big ones that we don't even know where they come from. Even Elizabeth, the owner of the language, doesn't even know what these things means. And people are throwing off there to intimidate their brothers and sisters and collecting their own share. You guys are pathetic. Pathetic, despicable. This is awful. I am so angry that even the Fulanis, if I see them, I will let them to level you guys down. Go and get whatever you allow them to steal back. Go and collect it back from them. They are men like you. Stop using your penises. Use your head.
It's women that we charge now. It's where their fellow man. We do this to them, they will come back to women to attack women. We are saying your game is over. We are not attacking back this time around.
We have to, ladies,
for you.
We have to make sure about this self-determination and getting down the Constitution, because what's going to happen is the only way to stop the genocide is when we take down the Constitution and we get our sovereignty and self-determination back. They will try.
This is so easy to do. Brother Tony has been telling them this information for the past 100 years. What is our so-called politician doing? What are the so-called rich men doing? Even they will sit there. Kenka, the one that sells car, they will slap his wife. He will turn around and give them more money for a campaign. He will give them money when coronavirus comes. These people are not there for us. That is what makes this thing so scary. They know what to do. Tony has explained this process to them, but because they are gaining from the so-called one Nigeria, they will give us a bag of rice during Christmas and olive oil to eat it with tomato paste.
Olive oil?
I mean, did I say olive oil?
Yeah, whatever.
That's what I eat. I got confused.
And you know, Sister Muna, even those that say they are freedom fighters, they came to this 20-year plan that LNC presented about 20 years ago, because when we said 20 years, we're not saying 20 years from now. This is the 21st year. This plan came 20 years ago. Some of our brothers took a section of it to make money out of it. Making money from our pains and sorrow.
Miseries.
If we acted 15 years ago, if we acted even 7 years ago, we will not be where we are now.
We will not be where we are.
This plan was presented to them. They will take a section of it. This one will say, I'm doing security. You don't read it and take a section and run with it and go and make money with it. The other one will say, I'm doing development and run a section of it. How can you do that? We are not allowing you anymore. We will do the entire project, the whole thing. We will do, because he has all the aspects in it. It's about 16 steps. And 14 steps have been achieved. 2 steps remaining. America is involved in this matter. So, because they understand that this is ISIS West Africa taking the resources.
This is Rwanda loading. This is Rwanda loading, no, and this is what is called
Rwanda.
No, because what I mean is that they're going to wait till we all get killed. This is time we're telling you guys, wake up and do the needful, so that we're not waiting for UN to come when everybody, like half of the population, is gone. This is the time, this is the time you running for 2023 election. This is the time you waiting to get oil contract. This is the time you building homes or buying homes all over the world. Stop playing with the lives of our children. We are not doing this anymore. If you want to be a politician, you be a politician under the new nation.
Tizamuna is even bigger than just Rwanda, because that's why America got involved, because some people still don't understand that international imperative we talk about. Why America had to get involved. They understood it. LNC, MNN partners, they were able to make this presentation to them. Mm-hmm. They now understood that the resources in our land, ISIS West Africa, we grab it. Grab it, and for their global Islamization agenda, America will be the first target as a Christian nation. Do you understand? So that's why, because some people are saying, oh, America will not help you. We're not talking about America helping. We're saying partnership. We are having allies, people that understand what is at stake, what is going on, have agreed. The Christian evangelicals, the evangelicals in America, they have understood what is at stake, what is going on in Nigeria. In the prayer they just concluded, the prayer for America, they prayed last week. They prayed for Nigeria. They prayed for the Christians in Nigeria being killed. They now understand these things, and they're ready to partner with us. So they're not coming to give you referendum. They are coming to partner with us, so that this evil reign that is about, that will affect it will not only affect us, it will affect the whole world. So
can I say something?
We are now appealing to all the people that are obstructing this move. All the people for one simple thing that are getting
their names. We are appealing to this animal that felt that because it has 7 degrees, of course it doesn't have. We are appealing to Peter Obi, flaunting 2023 presidential election. This is not the time. You say that you are educated, you are highly educated, you keep touting the fact that, oh, you have a degree in Yale, you have a degree in Harvard. All these do not matter to us anymore. The supposed degrees you have, they are just certificates that has been issued. I mean, you can do a 3-hour course and you are issued a certificate. For the life of the normal life, I so hate that guy, God forgive me. I hate everything about him. He needs to start talking about us being killed. It's time they all stop this their nonsense. For the times of past, you told me, you like throwing grammar all the time. This is not time for grammar. For the life of Ben Bruce, you like saying that you are the one with consciousness or whatever, that you are working. This is the time to talk to things that matter to us. No more dilly-dallying. No more dilly-dallying. On the Yoruba side, for the times of Tinubu, it's better you return back and be the taxi driver that you are doing in Chicago. Because the time is up.
It's up.
Yeah. You were a former taxi driver in Chicago. You heard a lot of nonsense that you did here in America before you went back to Nigeria, and decided to put Lagos under your foot. The time is up. We are tired of this country. It's no longer a joke. It's now between life and death. That is what it is.
Dire situation.
No gray area is between life and death. And we are telling you that these Fulani, they have so much mind, they know what they are doing. This is something that their forefathers told them. And they have not missed a step. They haven't. They know what they are doing. They have conquered the Hausa people, turned it into a Sharia territory. There's this 13-year-old boy or whatever, because of blasphemy, that will be in prison for 10 years. And even the world is even asking. There's one guy from Auschwitz, the former Jew camp guy, that is begging that he is ready to serve probably a month each. How many people to come and serve a month because of blasphemy? They have ingrained Sharia into their system. They have left. They have left already.
They have gone.
The
safeguard her farm. A London police officer could not safeguard her farm. I'm talking to those that say they want to give us security with all their winter and their village things. What is coming is beyond your stupid imagination, your little imagination. London trained police officer could not safeguard her farm and her people in her immediate environment. Have you seen that what we're saying is big? We are telling our people it's a big puzzle. Look for where to fit in. There's space for everyone. But don't bring your little ideas. Those ones you receive when you were sleeping, some in the toilet, and all those stuff that you have been doing. It's a bigger picture. Find a place to fit in, and let's get this job done. It's almost done. We're just 2 steps away.
People are dying. Some people are busy having their own. Go ahead, Sister Andy.
There's something we can do to help ourselves. Since 2017, I have been hearing calls to boycott beef in solidarity with the victims of the slaughter of the Fulani herdsmen. Meanwhile, especially us in the southeast, lower Niger block, we refuse to show solidarity. So it's kind of like I'll be praying, oh God, send the Fulani away, Owashuku. But Owashuku people be telling Fulani, oh, come here, I want to buy your beef. I want to eat your beef. Can you see? Things for ourselves. If we had stopped eating beef in 2017, the Fulani herdsmen would not have been in our area.
It's sad. It's sad because the people that are supposed to be doing the job, they are not doing the job. The church that's supposed to be preaching about prosperity and the things to do today will tell you to fast and pray in order for you to get prosperity instead of doing practical things. Practical things that work. 1+1 will give you a. If you keep your environment clean, you will not get malaria. There's no praying about that. If you take your medication, you will not die of hypertensive stroke. You have all these things. They will keep you, telling you to fast and pray, lining our people in the church, not doing what works, watching people doing all kinds of stuff. Instead of calling them out, you go and take your own share and you call their name in your church and you praise them. It's like everything has been destroyed about us as people. Everything, nothing works. And only until we come clean and realize that we have truly messed up, everything has been destroyed. And we start from the foundation and fix it. If not, all this baraga here, baraga, trying to fake it till you die. You will die. That's what's going to happen. If you're trying to fake it till you die, you will die.
But we will not die with them. That's what we're saying.
Amen.
We the rest will not die with their fakeness.
These people, these our people, every one of them, especially the men. You guys are supposed to be in charge. God kept you guys in charge. He said you have the audacity to come to your church and be telling women to succumb to what is English they are saying? To bow to your husband. Which husband? The one that can put food on the table or the one that cannot put food on the table? Which husband are we bowing to? The one that allowed the Fulanis to come over our land and take it? Which husband are you bowing to? The one that is sleeping with my 16-year-old in a hotel room? Which one am I bowing to? The one that is messing around when he's married? Which man? Where is the man in Africa to bow to? Where are you guys? If you are there, start coming out. Start coming out because there's nobody to bow to. We are about to turn you guys into woods. This is awful. This is awful. Peter Obi, Nando Tia, all these criminals. I can't even think of because I don't know them. I'm not with them.
What about Jokalo, the one from Abu Maya that just...
That criminal. Criminals everywhere. Criminals everywhere. Our children are dying. I know you guys can think about positions you can get. What have you done for 100 years? What do you do? Another man came from their own country and they took over your country. And you're there. Now, so they're English, yeah? I don't know how to speak all these big words. They will make me bite myself. Lies. English is not a determination of your IQ. That's why Chinese can speak Chinese and build the most industrious word.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It has nothing because you guys, you witches, you told us you have to speak English for you to be someone. Who the hell is just an English language? Come and speak my Iba. Come and speak it. Deceit. They destroyed everything. Destroyed our language. Destroyed our religion. Destroyed our culture. Destroyed. Where are our men that's supposed to be in charge? are here calling people names. When is that to the info? None of you will show up. Shame on you guys. Heaven will hear my voice today. That from today on forward, if you guys don't come forward and do the needful. Nonsense. We are sick of it. Stop playing games. You go to Channel TV, they are lying, making up stories. Everybody's about what can I get to survive. We don't want to survive anymore. We want to leave. We want to leave. We want to leave.
Self-determination. Self-determination.
We have what it takes to have a great nation. Why are we playing games in the lives of our children? Why are we pretending like we don't know what to do? Why are we faking it till we die when we know what to do? You guys are sickening. This is the only English word I like. Despicable. Despicable. Oh, you know it. Nonsense. I'm so hot here. Are we done? Are we taking phone calls?
No, Sister Augusta. No, briefly.
I know we kind of like read a little bit. Okay, Sister Didi. Today just got so emotional, and if we don't do it this way, we'll not.
We don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. Look at the horror stories in BWS. We don't have time. We cannot continue to watch women, and usually it's women and children that they will kill. Cutting pregnant women alive, keeping children everywhere. Where are the stupid men? Why don't you all start killing those useless men first? Killing all our children. Why the white children are in class learning how to do STEM. They have all these STEM programs: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics or whatever.
Building all kinds of stuff.
Building all kinds of stuff. And you guys leave us in a survival mode. Leave us in a survival mode. I tell you to make up, look like something is happening. When underneath, everything has been destroyed, and we have men in the land. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. You should be committing suicide for all I care.
I wish.
It was the election 2023. You will steal all our money. You will be using it to intimidate us.
It would have been nice now if they will commit suicide. See Obasanjo that he has destroyed everything that we own, and then he's still sitting down here. They used him.
Number one, they overused that guy.
Used him.
People are watching him. People are watching him doing what he does.
He's alive to fix the evil he has done. He's busy looking for how to put us to fall trap. Sister Augusta, please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
One by one. Most of them all Obasanjo.
Disgusting human beings.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
sorry, Sister Didi. Like when you were talking about the Niger bridge, that they should have built more Niger bridges, and I'm like, duh. That this is the caveat that they use all the time. They dangle the carrot in front of our people each year or whenever they want to come and advocate for elections or votes. So they will dangle, hey, I'm going to build the second Niger bridge. I'm going to build the third Niger bridge. They just dangle that like a carrot all the time. Up till now, they haven't even fixed the first one. Not to talk of building another one.
Yeah, we're not waiting for them anymore. We want to get to a nation. We'll do the rest.
Now the train, you read whenever you're commuting and all that. You use the train all the time and all that. And the Buhari Chineke is building train from Daura to Niger Republic.
Where are the men of the land that you're supposed to bow to? Where are they? Where are they?
The Minister of Transport, one of your brothers, Kedafayam, Amechi, that is helping to build that. And I'm wondering what the heck is wrong with our pot-bellied men. What the hell is wrong with them? So anyway,
we the women, you're right. We the women need to, up our ante. But as I said, if we had boycotted the beef, some of what's happened would not have happened. You see, there's consequences for every choice. Agatu happened in 2017. I stopped eating Nigerian beef in 2017. That to be in solidarity with the victims and to show the world that we are unhappy with what the Fulani herdsmen are doing, but we carried on and telling them to come to our area. And because we want their beef, once they're in our area, they have a reason to be there and they kill us. I've seen some videos on the internet It happened to be dead Igbo girls. They've been raped and left for dead, gang raped by Fulani herdsmen, and they died, And you see, so, it's the community. The community should not have been eating and trading in beef. There are so many other things we can eat. We've got geese. I had geese here at Awash. I've eaten them because they were chasing me. But I had some geese. It's delicious. You raise geese. Ducks, guinea fowl, chicken, snails, bushmeat, pigs. I love pork, as I said. We've got other things that we could have been eating. And that way, if we didn't give the Fulani a reason to be in our area. So we also have part of the blame. And I think, I don't know what God's going to do to us, but, there are consequences to every action. There are consequences to every action. And perhaps now we can decide victims.
Yeah, Sister Ndidi, the problem is that we don't have time anymore, to start campaign of boycotts of this and that, because we would have done it, like you said, since 2017, but we didn't. Where we are now is constitutional force majeure, self-determination. How do we escape right now? Do you understand? So that's why we are focusing on this thing now, and so that we can move. Sister Augusta, please, can you just ask briefly so that we'll finish up? Because
let me ask the question that is so pertinent. You understand?
Yes.
You are from Ogwashi, correct, Sister Ndidi? Ogwashi.
Yes, Ogwashi. Ogwashi. Don't forget the Upu.
Yeah, I want to pronounce it right. You're from Ogwashi. And the division they brought between those of us from the southeast and south, there was a reason for that division. And you have always believed that those of us in the lower Niger block, we are fully homogeneous. So can you just explain that part of homogeneity, please?
Yes. It actually pains me when people from south and southeast see themselves as different. You see, there's reality in different levels. South and southeast people, which is the lower Niger block, are homogeneous in our religion. It is a Christian bloc. And all my life, plus if you do any reading, you'll find that religious ties are stronger than ethnic ties. And that's why you have somebody who's, let's say, Nigerian, who's a Christian, can marry a Japanese who's a Christian because their culture is the same. It's just the body looks Japanese and, the other body looks Nigerian. But the culture, the spirit, the thinking, the aspirations, their value systems are exactly the same because they share the religion. So the people of the lower Niger block, it's a Christian block. We all pray to the same God, our Father. We are literally brothers and sisters in Christ because it's a spiritual family, and that is a stronger tie. But what has happened in Nigeria is because Nigeria was set up not to be successful. It was set up for the people of the South and Middle Belt to be slaves. The slave masters have always told the slaves, hey, look, you guys are different, you guys are different, you guys are different. And then the people now begin to say, oh yeah, we're different. And they're beginning to say nonsense because if you are a Christian, you're supposed to be a family with anybody who's a Christian. It doesn't matter what the external body looks like. And you have one culture. Because once you're a Christian, you are a new creature in Christ. Your culture is now God's culture. You begin to change, and so we all have the same culture. That's number one. Then God himself makes it very clear because in the book of Revelation, they describe heaven. And God himself says it's a place where there'll be people of every tongue and nation and tribe and people. He mentions that the people of the world, every tribe is going to be there. But they're united. They are one, all of them in heaven, all of them one. All of them, God sees them all as his children, as one family because of that religion. So I'm appealing to the people of the South and Southeast, which is the lower Niger block, to remove these strongholds that the enemy have put in their minds and to honor the Bible that they say that they believe and the Christ that they say, and to see ourselves as one. Yes, that person is Ijo and they speak Ijo language and they may wear different clothes, but their aspirations, their values are the same. And I know people who are Ogoja. When I'm with them, I feel like I'm with, my own people, because, we have the same value systems. And when we have the Lower Niger Federation, we are, all the people in it, all the ethnic nationalities will choose the name. We just call it the Lower Niger right now because we're using an 1885 ethno-linguistic map. So that's why it's just called Lower Niger for now. But that's just the name. But the Ijo will have their own, they'll be on their own ancestral land. They'll have self-determination in their own ancestral land. Nobody can dominate them. They'll have resource control. The same for Ogoni, the same for Ogoja, Efik, Ibibio, Ishekiri, everybody. So you'll have self-determination in the land. But because this is the 21st century, and one of the ladies said it earlier, we have to have friendships because we are Africans, and the whole world sees Africans as the most idiotic on earth. That's why we're at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
Because we can have Ogoni country, Ijo country, Anyoma country, tiny little countries that cannot survive on their own. The whole world will be laughing at us. We are also competing with the world, and we need to take a country that looks respectable, that looks substantial to the world, not tiny little, every village is a country, because that is ridiculous. And that's probably why we were slaves of everybody. So now is the 21st century. We need to have alliances so we can live together under Christ as one nation, every ethnic nation having self-determination. We are together. We control our borders. Arawa will still try to come down and do their shenanigans because Al-Qaeda is in this territory. We can together form an army, a good substantial army, and be fighting them, helping our Middle Belt brothers, helping our Oduduwa.
Thank you, Sister Ndidi.
Thank you. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Sister Muna, Sister Ndidi, because we have to bring this aspect of Christianity, because we know that you as a Christian, you believe that Christians are the salt and light of the world. There's a reason that is so. If you say you're a Christian, why not practice what you believe in, for crying out loud? Preserve the earth, preserve the people, preserve the land, throw light into darkness. This is what you should do. And when we mention men, some people get uncomfortable. What I tell them, if you're comfortable, why not get to talk to those your fellow men when you people meet to drink in the beer parlor? Of course, we're not talking about all men. They are noble men, like your late father, the ambassador, Ralph Wochoy. We remember what he did, all the things that he did during the Civil War, some papers that he published, trying to free the people. We have noble men, great men that did noble things to make sure that people are free. And I remember that there's something I was reading. They said that he was one time a former president of Ohanese Ndidi. That's your dad now, your late father. I mean, he was even a Nigerian ambassador in France when the Biafra War broke out. You understand? So we just want you briefly to mention, because when we're talking of men, we know some few men that have done some great things. What we expect from them is to correct those politicians that call themselves men. Correct those people that call themselves their freedom fighters and doing something that killing us more than helping us. It's your responsibility to go. So when we call men, if you know that you're a right thinking man, correct the people that we're saying you should correct. Don't come and tell us we are calling men. We are making it like feminists. No, we are mothers. We are talking about our children that are dying.
It's not about you, dude. It's not about you.
Words with you. We're not here to make you feel all right. Solve the problem of our land, then we'll give you the accolade you need. Please, Sister Ndidi, just throw a little light so that we'll just finish up about your father, please.
Yes, my dad left Nigeria in 1960 and he joined the Foreign Service. And he was the chargé d'affaires. That means he was the one to open the Nigerian embassy in Paris. that would be in the sort of like early-ish and mid 1960s. It's while he was the chargé d'affaires in Paris that the Biafra War started, and his conscience would not allow him to work for Nigeria anymore. He saw that what was happening to Ndibo was unjust, so he resigned. And it's as his role as representative for Biafra that my dad secured assistance and support from France. It was actually my dad that did that. Okay, he didn't do it on his own, but he was the main person.
Sister Ndidi, hold on, okay? So we're going to be taking call as soon as she's done, or Zoom. So if you want to start Zooming in, so once she's done, we can take some few calls before we call it a day. Thank you. Please go ahead.
So that was really it. And so, but then my father, there was some issues that he had with the leadership of Biafra at the time. So he then resigned from being the Biafra representative. This is after he gotten French support, which was very important for, the survival of the people. And after that, but my dad always had a desire to see our area to prosper. And he wrote a book, Reflections on the Nigerian Civil War. The first was published in 1969. And he drew a map of how he felt Nigeria could be, because he read history at the University of Ibadan, which is University of London. And he actually put the ethnic nations of Southeast and South together, because everybody knows that we are supposed to be together in one country, supporting each other. So that's really what my dad did.
Thank you so much. So we're about to start taking phone calls. I'm going to pin the number so that you can join by Zoom. If you can call in. All the information will be there at the platform. Let's see.
Okay, let me just make a little announcement. In case I vanish, I've only got 31% on my battery. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so in case because there's no electricity here, okay? So yeah, I've only got 31%. So if I vanish, it'll be because the battery just threw me out.
It won't be rapture taking place.
No, I wish.
So the meeting ID has been posted. It's actually 826-889 826-889-2163, and the password is 458246. It's on the platform there. We also have a phone number you can call, which is 774-338-0942, as well as WhatsApp that you can call on. So call us and give us some feedback, give us some contribution regarding today's show, and we'll take it from there. So Sister Ndidi, thank you so much for actually coming here today. So somebody said, are you in Nigeria? No, we're in the US. We're in the US. I don't know how to call US from Nigeria. So you may want to ask Google how to do that. But we're here in the US.
They'll put +1 and then +18, +1.
Yeah, so the number is there, and then you can also come in on Zoom. We actually prefer you come on Zoom so we can actually, see who we are talking to. But if you're not able to come in and you're afraid that the zoo government will come after you, we also understand that. So you might as well, you can call in. So we are serious about what we are doing here. We are serious about the lives of our future generation. We are serious about everything that we stand for. We are consistent in what we are doing, because this is bigger than us. This is not about us. We're not here to come and do a show off every day. No, we are here to make sure that we live in a nation that mirrors the US, where we are living comfortably. There is no reason why in 2020, our brothers and sisters are still struggling to even eat a meal. Yeah, we are not taking that. There's no reason for that. Especially, these are people that are willing to work. These are people that are smart. If you provide them, even without resources, they are making it. Imagine if you give them some resources, what will happen? So we don't want to play these games anymore. politicians, you guys have been politicking us for a while, taking from us, spending from us. We're even clapping for you too, on top of that. And while we are doing all of this, you couldn't even protect our land. We allow you guys to steal as much as you can. We allow you guys to buy 27 houses all over the world. We allow you guys to even dash us a bag of rice with what kind of oil? I don't know, petroleum oil. Yeah, we even took it with gratitude and prayed for you. Did you protect our land? No. You ate so much that your stomach grew so big, you weren't thinking anymore. It's all about how many girlfriends can I have, how many women can I have, how many this can I have, how many cars can I have, how many this, how much is only a car? I was just telling my husband today, there's a guy close to my work. This guy makes almost over $500,000. He's a neuroradiologist. I saw him in his bicycle like Otempo. I'm like, who is this? He was on his bicycle, my dear. You know, a lot of them, when they study that much, they don't know how to dress. I thought it was Otempo from Misochi, my town. This is a person that commands over, his house is worth $5 million. You wouldn't even know. He chose to ride his bicycle because it was convenient to get to his work. I don't even know if he has a car, because everything around that area, you know, they have their shopping strip and all that stuff. But African man, you want to have a car, 20 cars, watches to match your outfit, necklace to match your earrings.
You know my lie. He was actually showing off 200 pairs of what was he showing? He was showing wristwatches. He was showing cars. He was showing one useless thing that he bought from China for billions of naira or dollars. Or
and your people are clapping for him. His boys are clapping for him.
That kind of a person, and he comes and tells you that he has 7 degrees, when probably what he has is 3-hour credit certificate from all these schools. That's basically what he has. Nothing more.
Since August, even if he has 100 degrees and you're not helping my people, to hell with you and your degrees. To hell with you and your degrees. Who cares about degrees that you're not using to do the needful? Americans acquire degree to make a change. They acquire degree to impact their people. And you're acquiring yours to use it to buy watches to show me on Facebook? Are you for real?
He's fond of doing that. Every outfit has a different car that he would ride for that day. He has all the slickest cars. And I'm beginning to wonder why is his constituent even allowing him to show off?
Because they have beaten us down so much we don't even know our rights anymore.
There is nothing provided for his people.
Oh, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much. If you're a man, I keep saying it again, I'm not saying all men, but if you call yourself a man, go and start, okay, hold on, this damage that happened under your watch, go and start fixing it. Go and start fixing it. Okay, Galaxy A80. Oh, okay, it's trying to connect. So the phone number again is
Hello.
Yes, someone is in the background. You're making noise, so you need to move away from that area.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a simple thing to do. We're not here. Vibrating back.
But you can hear me now, right?
Yes.
I'm a little bit outside from home. Good evening from here. I'm calling from Oslo, Norway. Your brother came for last time, Chukwemeke. I'm from Himembano in Imo State.
Welcome.
Mona can thank God Almighty for what you people are doing for us, because it's only very few patriotic citizens that have their people in the mind and heart, can take out their time and do what we people are doing for us. I can't thank you guys enough. But that's one thing I want to remind you. I am someone in a million people who have my people in my heart. I can even do anything to save my people. Like last time, you said, oh, maybe he's one of those guys that love Nigeria, and they always like to call me to a corner way to, I was the one that was having interaction with Tony because I asked him a question last time. So my thing is today.
So what's your contribution today, sir?
My contribution today is more or less to congratulate what you guys are doing for us and to remind us and our viewers that I am a member of so many organizations that elected about how to free our people from the prison we are into. And then to remind our people as well that time has gone when anyone thinks that he could sit down in a room and solve our social problem alone. That time has gone.
Yeah.
We can't just sit down in a room and solve our problems over a glass of brandy. No, that time has gone. We need to come out.
Over a village meeting.
Over a village meeting. That's what I told my, a long-time friend. Let me remove my cap to show some respect, Mona. Professor Wala, he was the one who invited me into ADF. They view me as a radical because I was like trying to tell them the truth. Because if you love your people, you have to be honest and tell them the truth. I remember when you tell our people the truth, sometimes
they can handle it. They can handle it.
You will have much enemies.
Yeah.
It's good to talk, but as well, it's much more better if we can engage ourselves in something visible. You remember my question that day to Tony, but you didn't allow me to maybe you don't know me very well, was I was going somewhere, which is Dr. Nelson Mandela he referred to, moved from South Africa to Tanzania, and from Tanzania to London to meet Oliver Tambo, the chairman of ANC, and argued with Oliver Tambo that this so-called talking and the strategy they are using is not working. We have to do something else. And that thing else was what made him the Margaret Thatcher regime in Britain and Ronald Reagan in the United States to call him a terrorist. But that person they called terrorist later ended up winning Nobel Peace Prize. It's as well in the Palestine. In the case of Israel and Palestine, the leader of PLO in Palestine, which is Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat was called terrorist all over the world, well known, but he ended up winning Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh yeah, you want all of us to be terrorists? Can you get to the point, please?
So what I'm saying is, sometimes you need to force the government and force the people of the world, drag their attention to listen to you. Right now, they are not paying attention to us. What we need to do right now is exactly, we have reached to that point that Dr. Nelson Mandela traveled from Tanzania to meet Oliver Tambo, the chairman of ANC, that this is not working. And they started up blowing train and start resisting.
My brother, sorry, I'm not interrupting you, but we don't have enough time. So I understand, we understand where you're going. It depends on where you join. When you join somebody that is going home, you think that we just began journey. So we have passed this phase. You're saying what you're saying right now. We are not on the point where we are doing strategies. So what do? We're asking opinions. We have passed exactly. All these things. Hold on, brother. All these things you're saying. Why would you not allow you to ask that person? It's the same reason why we're not going to allow you today. Because like we said, the program we are working on, the plan is 20 years plan. It started 20 years ago.
Now I understand you.
Where we are now is the last step. We had 16 steps. We have done 14 steps. You are meeting us on number 14, where we are going to take 15, 16, and get to our destination. So we are not beginning to brainstorm. We have finished brainstorming 20 years ago. Do you understand? So that's what we told you, brother. Please go and read the materials in LNC website.
I know about it. I know about it.
Hold on, our brother. Hold on, please. This is not Nzuko Mona. Because Nzuko Mona, people go back and forth. There's no need for that. They're about to kill us. So many things have been done. We had 8-point strategy, which LNC brought out 20 years ago. And that thing Constitution, bringing down the constitution is about 75% of the work. And it's not something that you say, oh, want to see what is happening, want to blow bomb, want to blow the... Those things have been done. We have finished all those ones. They were time Niger Delta, you saw them. They were blowing places. It was part of what is going on. They knew this plan. And if anybody tried to drain, they will start blowing things up there. So these people are more aware than you think. The people, and that's why sometimes when we come here, you see, the activity is more underground than on top. And the protocol of Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela is actually what we're following, South Africa. But one thing I want to remind you is that by the time South Africa was doing all that, the 2007 UN rights for indigenous people,
yes.
It was that too. That apparatus was not available then. So there was no proper backing. So they were doing a lot of things. They spent 15 years shooting, bombing things. The last 28 years was when they did it. So it was 28 years to the end of their struggle that they switched to what we are doing. And we saw it. You know, what you do is that when you see people doing something, you copy them and begin on time. We saw what they did, and we began 20 years ago. So this
I get you, my sister. I get you.
Suggesting we started 20 years ago.
Yes, I get you.
Understand? So we are about to conclude. Constitutional force majeure.
May God Almighty. Yeah, I pray that may God Almighty strengthen you people and give good health to push on, because it's only very few, like I said previously, it's only very few people, true patriotic citizens, can take out their time, put themselves online, and fighting to liberate the others. And we don't have most of those people in our land. You know what one thing they say, like when you shake money on the ear of our people, and
they will wake up from their cups.
The attitude to change, the attitude change, and it's still real. It's real till today. So my final contribution is the ground has opened beneath our feet.
Yes.
The more in a military strategy, let me just be open. It said, like, don't give too much time in preparation. That too much time you are giving will now give the enemies more better chances to prepare even more better than you. It means that the belt is tightening more. For example, like in Uguta, in the waterways, all entire waterways linking to our land they are opening more Navy blockade every blessed day. Every blessed day, they are opening more, they are tightening up more and more and more. I remember when Tony was crying and shouting about 5 or 6 years ago, that let us begin to do something meaningful before these people wakes up. But our people don't listen.
It's my share.
Shouting that let us be, the thing is, if you go higher a bit into our elite, there is no intellectual in Igbo land.
No. They just climb the encyclopedia and they throw English language, boy, left and right, they destroy the
Mona, if you be in the mix of their meeting, you will ask yourself, where is the intellectualism?
You are right.
I have seen.
My sister, have you been in the meeting?
Have
you been in mix
I'm
of
flabbergasted.
That's why
I asked myself, I said, where is it? Where is your intellectual? Where is it?
There.
It's not there.
I know where it is. I know where it is. It's in the hotel room. Waiting for a 16-year-old.
So the thing is, they get money. Like if you contribute money now, that money would be go and rent the finest hotel in city, and then all of them will have their suit and they come out and talk like as if they are doing meeting on.
Do you know that when you send them to foreign affairs, they will make sure they fly their 15-year-old friends? Or they will find a pimp in the country that they're going to find them. They have choices. They will say this time we want Chinese, we want Spanish. This time around we want African American with butts at least 50 inches wide.
Exactly.
They have specifications of what they want. They will sleep all night. While the American counterparts are there discussing the UN, they will be like this. Yeah. On one side,
there is something fundamentally wrong.
Disgusting.
With the way of our people reason. The reasoning of our people Mona, I think that it would be like someone deceiving himself if you think that you are an intellectual and this person is like a Fulani, they are living in the bush, they are not educated. But when you come to the battle of the center, they hands you down.
Yeah.
Have you think about that? Those people, you think that they are not educated, they are not enlightened, but in everything, look at it. They want Islamic banking, they have gotten it.
Yes.
They want Sharia, a law within a law in a place that's supposed to be secular. They have gotten it.
20 years
Right under our watch. While we are speaking big
in the
English.
Federation of Nigeria, they got it.
Yes.
And they are hiding in the frame of Nigeria.
Yes.
But they are everything that made them all the values that their people have cherished for so many years ago. They don't want to leave anyone behind.
No.
All the principles, everything that made them who they are, their religion, their culture, their tradition, in everything, they have made sure they keep it intact. And they are now selling it. Look at in Ebonyi State. The governor of Ebonyi State is more or less a slave. Because the money he was using to build the things he was building in Ebonyi State, the money was a loan he's taking from Islamic banking.
Yeah.
Yes. Making him a slave.
Yes.
And now if we go to the community where Ezogo Akanibiam came from, now almost 50-something% is now Muslim.
Yes.
You have more mosque in Owana Afikpo than churches. Go and I stand to be corrected.
And we know it's true.
I stand to be corrected.
The best the secondary school, Islamic secondary school, is in our land, in Africa.
Yes, it's in our land. They call it the best Islamic study in Nigeria. It's in Igbo land. It's in Igbo land.
Yes, it's in Igbo land.
And they are converting our people day and night. And the most of our Igwe, so-called Igwe, are now selling land to Fulanis to settle.
They cannot do anything. Like you heard when the sister presented.
Igbo land, they have the largest community of Fulanis right now, settling now. And those Fulanis are not Fulani of Nigeria. Those are Fulanis that are coming from, most of them come from Futajelon. Some of them come from Mali. Some of them come from, do you know that those Fulanis in Nigeria, their homeland is Guinea-Conakry?
Do they have a homeland?
They are not even allowed to near the corridor of government in Guinea-Conakry. Yes, they are not even allowed to near the corridor of government.
But they strategized and came to take over our land, which is why we are saying that the solution is in the hands of you and I, we the people. No more in the hands of some elite class, some political class, or even some church group leaders. Because like what we have found out is that even church leaders have been bribed.
Business partners.
Bribe them. That's what they're using to buy all these jets you're seeing when you hear something. So there are some things you see that abnormal and you're saying, what's going on? Yes, it's money. Money has exchanged hand. All of them have been bribed. So what is left is you and I. And that's why we say power is in the hand of the people. Exactly. We are the ones that will do constitutional force majeure. Not the politicians. Not National Assembly. Nobody. It's you and I. And that's what we're calling. America was built by 7 men. America, 7 men. We are not looking for battalion. We are looking for you. You that you understood what we're saying now. We team up. As a team, we finish up.
Exactly. They are widening the generational gap in Igbo land.
Widening?
After the Civil War, they created the generation. You know, my fear is when once you destroy the future of the youth, like the way they are focusing now, doing now, you destroy generations coming after them.
Yes.
This is this.
Yes.
Because they, with that strategy,
why do you think we're here screaming?
They have created a generational gap in Igbo land. What you see now, that's why the governors in the southeast are the worst performing governors in Nigeria. Why? Because the people who replace them are 419ers. Are those idiots that we are criminals in Lagos that are parading themselves anywhere are the ones
now taking over. Do you know the danger in all of this? The danger in all of this is that while you are sleeping, your enemy is gaining grants. Like here we are buying and selling, having wedding, Iriji festival, New Yam festival, Christmas festival, and the people that are doing the work your festival is not stopping them. What's gonna happen is that the day they will come, depending on where Chigi allow you to be, you could be in the New Yam festival, you can be in a burial ground festival, you can be in market festival, you can even be giving birth. We don't know what it's going to be.
That's what I'm saying. Let me conclude for the others to come in, please, sweetheart. The point here, I'm just trying to throw up now. Let us be professional in every approach. because our people are very, very difficult people to govern. We are people, if you ask an Igbo man to do this or do that, he will turn back and ask you why. That question will always come up. So let us be professional enough and not to over argue with ourselves in public, not over criticize ourselves in public. In anything called politics and strategy for freedom, you can never get everything you want 100%. There are some certain things you know too well that you are absolutely right, but to get it done, you have to compromise. There are some things you have to swallow in order to get that ultimate goal done. Very, very important. The more you open up, the more you argue with yourself, the more you expose yourself, the more you embolden your enemies to dictate your weak point. That's what I'm trying to
Thank you,
say
brother.
in order to conclude my point. I love you guys so much, and may God Almighty keep protecting and strengthening your people. It's not easy. I know that it's not easy. It's only very few people who can do this. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. And we actually want our people to ask why. You see, that's why we're different. This one, we want our people to actually ask questions. Because what has happened to us is that we did not ask questions for years. That's why we follow criminals. So we actually want our people to ask questions. The only issue we have is when we give you answer, think it in your head. Understand that we need the critical part of your brain to work, not your emotional parts. Calm down and listen to this answer, and then we reason together and understand that this is why we need to do. So we actually want that why. And that's what we believe that our people can do well. We are like Americans. Americans, they ask why. They're Republicans.
From
childhood. Let us ask why.
Childhood. Thank you. Thank you,
Exactly.
Colin.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you.
Ma.
Have a great one. All right. So
you too,
Uche Obioha, please unmute yourself and turn on your video. Callers, this is a good time to call in again. The number has been posted. The Zoom in, the phone number, so that we can be done as soon as we can. Do not try to call us after the show. This is a good time to call in. Go ahead, Uche. Go ahead.
Hello, my sisters. I'm so amazed for what you guys are doing. Actually, I follow you guys every once in a time. But when I was listening to your topic this morning, I kind of feel like I think it's time to dial in and have a chat with you guys. So what we are talking about with what's going on in Nigeria is something everybody needs to know, that we are in trouble. We are in a mess right now. I was listening to a debate over this week about the issues in Nigeria, whereby a group of Nigerians were talking, what do we want? Some people said disintegration. Some people said restructuring. One of the Arewa guys that came in the debate said that he wants restructuring, but federal government will control the security, right? He was asked why. He said that he feels that if regional are controlling security, he feels that it's going to be compromised. And the problem that it is already compromised, but this guy insisted that federal government will control security. This is what happened in confab when Jonathan wanted us to have a confab. The same people refused. Now, we are talking about restructure. Sorry, I haven't read you guys' program, or I didn't get to do that. So we are talking about restructuring. So the question we are asking, if we have restructure, if Nigeria is being restructured, we already have these terrorists. How are we going to protect our borders? How is each region going to protect our land? Because they might end up to say that if we are restructuring, they need security. And they are the people in power. If we refuse that, they're going to say no, that they won't go for restructuring. That's the question that's what we have to be reasoning. And we are talking about disintegration. Let each region disintegrate and protect their own land and have their own security and know how to govern themselves. But in a situation whereby these people are taking this, the other people are thinking about the other one. In fact, I don't know how this problem will be solved, because these people are into something. They have an agenda. They know what they want to do. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a very big problem for Nigeria. We don't know what to do. We love that country, and that's the only place we're going to go to retire.
No, speak for yourself. Don't say we. You love the country. I hate that country.
Yeah. No,
I hate that country with a passion.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean
you love the land. The geographical space is what you love, which is your land, the land of your birth, and it's natural to love the land of your birth. But we're saying that our land has been conquered.
The land has been conquered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are saying, how do we come out? You don't know how, but I thank God that you say you just joined us, because in the website, LNC website, you have the solution. In some of our videos, starting from video 29, we have, we started small, and we explained in this show also that this problem did not start today. It's actually like 200 years old. And we saw it coming. And 20 years ago, people sat down and made a plan and said, this is the way to escape it. So now we are in the final phase of that solution. Things have been happening, just that people are not watching. So now that people are beginning to watch, we are happy. So, but we're not here to romance, like a beginning, we said some people sit down and romance, fall in love with their problem and have a romantic relationship with their problems. So identifying the problem is the first step to solving it. So we are happy that we are at that point when you are agreeing with us that this is a problem. But we have moved on from narrating the problem. We have moved on to the solution, how to finalize. And that solution has gone very far. Okay. The international imperative is already in. The inter-regional alliance, that in the solution, we talked about inter-regional alliance. That's intra-regional. That is in the lower Niger segment. Right. That we need to form alliance with all our neighbors. That has already happened. It took about 6 years to do. Now we talk about inter-regional alliance. That's the Igbo man, the Ijaw man coming into alliance with Yoruba people, Middle Belt. So we already did that, and that's why we have this flag, this map. So you see this alliance, this white people, this white area is alliance against this Sharia territory. The Sharia territory has been conquered. The people here, the Hausa people here have been conquered by those Fulanis that we're talking about. They've conquered this area. Now they're in the middle here, conquering here. So this alliance has been formed. So, and we are now in the last step of self-determination. That last step is called constitutional force majeure. That is bringing down that power. That thing that gave them power over us. That forged document, like our police officer that is in the house today, told us that you cannot amend a forged document.
You just
If you have a forged passport, you cannot. The solution is not to amend it. It's to burn it, throw it in the trash and burn it.
Counterfeit. Trash it.
It's counterfeit. So the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria is counterfeit. It's forgery. It's a forged document. We throw it in the trash and burn it, and then go into our regional areas to make our to do referendum, and then make our constitutions. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So, and the power is in our hands. It's we, the people, you and I, not politicians, not national. So once you have woken up, please wake up your neighbors. That the action is now. We are now about to take this very crucial, all-important step in our destiny. We have taken destiny into our hands, but we're not here. We are not anarchists. So we're not trying to start shooting people, shoot governor, shoot it there. No. This is 2020. No time for Congo style or the style you have in Sudan. No time for that. We're too intelligent for that. So we are following the diplomatic, legal way. And that's what we want to do. We don't want war. We'll control this. Thank you very much.
Okay. So another thing is this. Our politicians they are the problem we have in Nigeria. The politicians from the eastern states. Because the system is favoring them. That's why they don't want us. Anything you are talking about, like what we are saying now, if you get on the ground now, they will start shooting. Look at common protests. People are being shot. Is that how we're going to continue? Yet they come to the Western world. They see how beautiful the Western world is. They go back to Nigeria and start stealing just to favor their family. They don't care what the poor masses are suffering. And the problem of the people back home is our burden, because we that are living in abroad are the people suffering it every time they need help, and we cannot leave them there to die. It's very, very painful. I'm so happy for what you ladies are doing. It's wonderful. Women has the power, and I give you guys applaud. But the thing is that we have to work together, because divided will fall, united we stand. The more all of us, I am an IPOB guy. I'm not hiding it. But whatever we are doing to make sure that Nigeria, we fix our country. Otherwise, these people, they are killing us. I was listening to one guy saying that, oh, they are not doing anything. No, they are not killing anybody. Right. But we are seeing it every day on social media.
They are killing us. They are coming to take over our land.
One our Igbo brother, he was he was the way he was criticizing. Nothing is happening. They are not killing anybody.
That's why we say we are not waiting for men anymore, because they will always think from their bottom parts. Because they are not the one that are losing their children. Even when they have 8 children, one is missing. They don't even know that one of their child didn't come home. So why would they tell you somebody died? But the mother will tell you when one of her child is missing.
Yes. But my brother...
And this guy is in Europe.
No, when you mention this, I'm not cutting you. You see, but what I'm saying is that in this 2020, people will have opinions. Because we are Republicans and we are Democrats, people will have opinion. But we will bring up a superior argument. So we do not support arrest of Ijele Speaks. Let's say it clear here. We don't support our people trying to get some information that will lead to his arrest. That's not what we want to do. Yeah. We want to build a nation. That's what we're saying. And this nation will follow democracy. In democracy, there's freedom of speech. In democracy, there's freedom of association. We are not going to take it away from our people. We're not going to take one slave master and bring another slave master. We're not going to do that. That's what we're saying. We want to do the right thing. We want to get it right. And that's why we, the women, we have come on board. Because we want to get it right. We will not remove one slave master. Like my sister Mona said, is the beginning, they've been bringing one president, IBB, or Obasanjo, this one, changing driver of a vehicle that does not have engine. So we're not going to do that. People have taken advantage of our pain and sorrow, and we know them. We don't want to mention them, but IPOB is one of them that are taking their leadership. They are taking advantage of our pain. We were in IPOB before, but we don't want to go there now. All we are saying is that the Bible said, can two go except they agree? In that agreement, I don't know if you're listening, my brother. In that agreement, we will know what we are agreeing upon. We put the plan on the table and we will all examine it. Like we said, the LNC plan is in their website, is in public domain. Let's go and look at it so that if we are agreeing on something, we know what we are agreeing on. We don't want the idea of having one man's view leading. No. We don't want that. We will do it together. Thank you.
Amen.
Yeah. So another input I want to make here. What we have to look into consideration, because these politicians, even if I don't want a situation after working hard, these people will come in again and take over the system again, because the system is favoring them. They have the money. So even if after we do everything we have achieved, they will come over with their money and their power.
No. My brother, you can't think like that. Oh, no.
Continue to live like this?
You can't think like that. Oh, no. We are not. My sister just made a statement. We are not removing one slave master to bring another. Okay. We are not breaking down the constitution to bring another fraudulent constitution. Hell to the no. That's not going to happen. So we're not even going there. This is where, whatever it takes. You remember last week in our show, we told you guys that power belongs to the people. And I think because we Africans, we have never gotten power before. We are always at the bottom of the barrel. Everything is always against us. So I don't think people are still afraid to understand that the power belongs to you. Remember the first time you came to America, or you were UK, where you are. I bet when you first saw a police officer, you were so sure they were going to do something bad to you, right? Because you're used to being molested, you're used to doing all of this. Yeah. And then they meet you, they say, oh, good afternoon, sir. You'd be like, huh? Did he just call me, sir? So it's and then once you get used to it, officer, when the officer comes, officer, how are you? This officer, how are you? How can I help you? Because now you've understood that you do have rights. And that's the kind of argument or kind of thinking we want our people to start getting with this thing that we are doing. That these people are gang members running our country. So you should not be afraid of them. They are gang members. There's no other way. They are criminals. So you cannot say, oh, when I remove the criminal, would another criminal come to me? That's why there's another solution to deal with them. So we're not even going there. The good thing about the alliance that we are talking about is that even the so-called freedom fighters are now recognizing that there's a need for
alliance is necessary. Yeah.
And these are the things that we are crying for. Imagine if we have Don't these 3 years ago when we are begging them before they started calling us prostitutes, where we have gotten that if you are in a cage with someone, there is no way for you to live in that cage without the other ones pulling you down. And because their mind is twisted, because they want more money, because they want more accolade, it wasn't making sense to them. Right now, they run out of plan, and now they are seeking, they are even faking alliance. They are like bringing some people speaking different languages. And that is not even their kind of alliance we are talking. I'm talking about people that matter. You have to go to the places that these people that are involved in this thing, you talk to them, and that's why LNC, some of them will say, what is LNC doing? They've been doing this for 20, what are they doing for 20 years? Because you can't just decide on a radio broadcast that this place belongs to. You have to go and talk to the people that owns the land and get them to come on board with what you're doing, to say, hey, I want to be part of this process. And if you look at our show during the UN, when we read you guys the rights of the UN, that is one of the things that they mandate, because we are like, how can we get this thing done? These people are not understanding that we say we need alliance. We started looking at UN information to say these are the way it's supposed to be done, not knowing that our brother already knew about that and started doing the groundwork.
And told them. So, he knew it and told them. And they refused it because they want to make money from our pain and sorrow. And you tell me to be happy about it? I'm not happy about it, my brother.
The mothers are at the scene.
Died. The people that have died these past 7 years that were wasting time running around in circles wouldn't have died. People understood what was said 20 years ago.
No, are waking up. Let's stop saying if people understood. They actually understood, because these things were explicitly, they were explained to the people. So they understood, but they have this mindset of making money out of our misery. This package was given to Nnamdi 2013. So you can tell me that he didn't understand what was written. And let's assume probably the too much grammar, but they sat down for 4 hours.
But he went to school now. He did not go to school.
Somebody that went to grammar now. I beg. They had the opportunity. They explained this thing to him in details, and he still went ahead to truncate. He actually truncated the plan. Not that because he knew the plan. And now he's trying to use we're not talking to the Yorubas, we're not talking to the middle. No. We spoke to Yorubas so many years ago. We spoke to the middle belt so many years ago. We are now partners. Not that we are not starting. And when we joined IPOB, we tried everything to let him know that without alliance, we are going nowhere.
No, without
suggestion, they will tell you, command and control, shut up, you are not fit to do this, blah, blah, blah. You only listen to the top. Who does that? How can I be leaving a zoo and be moving into a museum? It doesn't make sense.
The good thing about all of these, sisters, is that they are going back. Yes, sister, and hold on. They are going back to the same alliance that was mentioned. Actually, this is the biggest joke of the century. You allowed our people to die, and then at the last minute, because you have no plan, what you were told so many years ago. Oh, I forgot. No. They were getting money. Shut up, Mona. Shut up. They were getting money. Okay, I get it. Sister, go ahead.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
Let me say something. It's the alliance is very, very important. And this is why the Northerners are making a joke of us. They feel that we are not united. But we have to understand it that the moment we have this alliance, that's what will make us move forward.
We have the alliance already. That's what we're saying. We have the alliance. It's for people to fall into the alliance. The alliance has been.
We are not waiting for them. We are not waiting for them anymore.
This part is not new.
And my batteries.
Go ahead. Go ahead, this is Dandidi. Go ahead.
Can I just say one thing? Because I might vanish any minute. I won't.
Go ahead.
I've only got about 11% of my battery. But I wanted the listeners to know this. There are experts in the world who know how to make sure that a country is not corrupt. I mean, police officers and people like that, we know how to make sure that all you need to know is that there are experts in different fields who will make sure that the new country is a proper country. That's number one. In the Met, because I'm a London police officer, we have the Met BPA, that's the Met Black Police Association. So if a Black association in the UK or USA, and the experts will come and let you know. So Nigerians need to realize that you yourself may not know everything, but somebody else knows. And that person who knows is the one who will be in charge. We have like Association of Black Chemical Engineers, Association of Black Civil Engineers. So if we, in the new country, we need to build a bridge or something, and we can't find anybody within Nigeria, we can go to these Black associations in America, in Canada, and in the US. So I'm hoping that our listeners will stop the panic, stop scaring themselves silly. You may not have the knowledge, but other people do. And it's those other people with the knowledge who will make sure that the new country is a proper good country.
Right. Thank you, Sister Ndidi, for that. And thank God for the mothers. We keep saying this, we're not here. If you see the mountain that we have to climb to be here, you will not even imagine. Then when it's about your child, when it's about the one that you gave birth to, there is no mountain too high. There is no name you can call in this world to deter what we're doing, because we are right in what we are asking for. And heaven is with us. We quite evident in our lives every day. Heaven is with us. So we're not here to make noise. We're not here to collect money. We're not here to be emotional. We're here to say we are sick and tired of our people dying. I'm sick of you living in London, doing the job probably that you don't want to do. I am sick of it. I'm sick of our land being upside down. I'm sick of Okora Hausa stealing everything in our land and ended up in a Senate to come and represent us. We are sick of all the negative things going on in our land, and we're saying that it must be done right. We are no longer sleeping. No amount of names will stop us. We are no longer in the kitchen cooking. As a matter of fact, all of you need to go fasting and praying because you need to lose that stomach.
Yes.
So
it's very, very difficult and very appalling when I listen to some of our men who are down there. You are even some of us in abroad. You are telling them, what are we gonna do? They say, oh, let it be like that. I say, are we going to retire here? What do we have to stay in this country till it's not fair. We got to do something. Let us, if any contribution we have to bring in, I don't care. We have to do it. Otherwise, we're going to remain in penury. This is not life. We are in the Western world, enjoying the best of the things in the Western world. But our country, a country we're blessed with so many things, and people are there suffering. A set of people are just eating the money, them and their family members. Is this life? When will this stop? Or we're going to be in exile forever?
No, they are living their dream now. They don't even call it exile. This is how bad our people have deteriorated to. When they live in another man's land and they live in their houses and driving their car, they think that's life. Do you know there's a reason why you were giving birth in that land? You think it was by accident? You think it was by chance? And you're hanging somewhere else, living your life thinking, my dear, again, I say it again, some people will get offended. God left you guys in charge. How are you guys in charge? Another man from the forest of Fuluja forest. Futajalo forest. Came from Futajalo forest and came and took what your forefathers left for you. And people still have the audacity to go and have an outburst on the radio. Where were you guys?
I was listening to Rochas Okorocha last night. The comment he was making, how to make Nigeria good. And he is the one who has stolen all that Imo State had. He stole all the money in Imo State. He pocketed it in his pocket. He built mansion and built shopping complex everywhere. And he's there in the National Assembly saying, oh, we have to do. What are you? People are there just hypocrites.
My brother, stop looking at them. These are gang members. Didn't you remember what I told you before? These are gang members that is high on their cocaine that they are smoking. Very high on cocaine. They are not there to represent you. They are not there to talk about you. What they are doing is that you guys are their miscreants, that they're looking around, you're the ones that will clap for them when they bring their latest vehicle around. You're the one that probably will open the gate for them when they come back, their wife and their children coming back from the US after their long vac. They're not there to represent you. So listening to them is like listening to a terrorist. So understand that the criminals have taken over our land, that we need to take back our land from them. It's just as simple. They are not representing us. And people are playing games. When they get money, they don't call their names. When they give them money, they don't mention their name, but they are telling us that they are fighting for us. And we're saying all of them, in its entirety, all of you guys are criminals. Criminal enterprise going on in our land, and we are watching. Even some of us are even donating money for the criminality to continue. It's simple. The choice here is simple. That the power rests with us, the people. That we need to take back our power and let these people know that they cannot continue to speak on our behalf. We need this constitutional force majeure done as soon as possible. Any man following Peter Oba, what's his name? Peter Obi. Any man following Peter Obi or following Kedahia Okora, may heaven deal with
all Jews or Kano.
He's representing us. Go and look at Abba. And people are calling him senator. What is he senating? Abba looks like the dirtiest place you can ever see. And again, no amount of fasting will stop you from having malaria in that place. Because you guys are inside malaria itself. No. You are living inside malaria itself. Jesus will not do it for you when it comes to that regard.
They use our pastors. They use our pastors to brainwash the people. They just go to church to pray for NEPA to bring light. It's all bullshit. It's all garbage. God doesn't answer that kind of prayer.
No.
When God has blessed us with
people should even stop this.
They should even
leave church alone now. No more church until we build industries in our land.
Yes.
Church in your house. Pray in your house.
My church is in my house. I pray to God. God is everywhere.
He is.
That's all bullshit.
Omnipotent. Yes.
You know, sisters, I told a pastor that was asking me for money. I said, if your church members, you don't have enough money to fund your church, you should convert the church into a factory, snail making factory, and employ your church members.
They
and give them salary based on that. I say it will be more useful. In the morning, people will come, you pray, read Bible, and then you begin work on the snail farming. And then you make money and feed your area and pay salary to your church members. We are done with all this type of mediocrity that we are calling churches. We are done with all of that.
My sister, thank you so much for what you guys are doing. It's natural. What you guys are doing comes naturally because it's not everybody who come on and do this. It comes naturally. Sometimes when I'm battling with this, my wife will say, "Why are you disturbing me?" I say, "My dear, it comes naturally. I'm not just doing it because I love doing it. But that is in me. We need a place that the people are suffering. People are dying every year. People cannot eat. I was following a program. Actually, I'm still gonna send money today. This little guy has a problem with his eyes. When looking at him, I noticed that this guy have hydrocephalus when he was born. But the doctors, they couldn't do anything. Nigeria is a messed up system. That's why the thing is affecting his eyes. They are online begging for money. And this is the kind of thing I do. I give money to people that I don't even know. When I see them begging for money, I don't have enough. But I still want to give. But if the system is good, this burden will not be on my head.
I know.
If I don't do it, I feel guilty. I don't know if I'm giving it to scammers, but the little I have, I do it in the name of God. That if the system is good, if the government is good, if we have good hospitals in place, these people will not be there dying, crying for food, crying for medication, crying for medical. What kind of life is this?
And that's why we say we don't want to be surviving anymore. We want to be living.
We have the power to do that. We have the power to make that change right now. You and I. We the people. We have the power to do it.
All right, our brother. Thank you so much. We've really had a good show today.
It's very painful. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I will follow you guys from time to time. And let's the discussion continue. Provided we are doing it legitimately, we have to form an alliance. We have to get the alliances in place, and we keep on moving forward. The more we all get together, united we stand, divided we fall. Otherwise, these people we are already in our blood. They are taking our lands. They are in possession of our lands.
But we are not uniting with criminals. I say it again. Divided we stand, or divided whatever. So far, we are not uniting with criminals, and we will ensure that we don't unite with criminals. Any criminal will expose you and say, "Get out of our way."
Okay.
We want to get to where we're going to. We don't want criminals around us. Thank you.
Okay. I appreciate you guys. Okay.
Thank you, my brother. So, sisters, your final statement before we go. I think we've really done a good job breaking this thing down. If only the Bible said, "If only my people call by my name." Can you imagine what we can do if we realize who we are, what power we have in our hands, what we can do with that information? Can we even imagine? And we're here just going back and forth in circles. The one that kills me is that some people are not even aware of what's going on. They are just existing in trance, like they are there. You're looking at their eyes, but they are asleep. Oh. They are not conscious. It's insane. So
let's just let Sister Ndiduche say say what, because I think her minutes must be running out by now. So if she can just say one or two things, then we'll just round up.
I just wanted to thank you all for having me. Oh, my battery. I just wanted to thank you all for having me, and I'm just asking you ladies to just keep on with the good work. And we must be free from all that we are suffering. The constitutional force majeure is first thing. Then we have the interim government where we have the referendum to decide what happens, and we go from there. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sister.
And please don't forget to send the link to that article so that we can, send it across to people because they've been asking.
Okay, once I power up, because no electricity, I will send it all.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you. So our take-home point today is, we have to realize that the owners of the so-called One Nigeria, they have used the system of divide and conquer to destroy the foundation of that Nigeria. And by doing so, destroying the structure of our language and our sub-nationalities in the region, they have undermined our commonalities. They have made it impossible for us to challenge the evil that they brought upon us, which includes ethnic cleansing, genocide, land grabbing, among others. We also have to remember, before the so-called Biafran War, there was 1 year full of massacre in Igbo land and the eastern region, which is precisely what's going on in the southern Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, and the entire Middle Belt. The North rejected 1999 Constitution since 2000, making it 20 years today, right? 20 years. They have introduced Sharia law. So what are we waiting for? When the people that we are in a country with, or the so-called fake federation with, they've left us and made their own Sharia law, which is their own constitution over there, and we're still telling ourselves that we are in the same place. The question then is, why can't the rest of us bring back our own pre-colonialization constitution? The only explanation to this is that we have been arrested, conquered, enslaved. Our voice and our rights, they've been taken away from us. And I ask, where are the great men of our land? Great people, actually, because men, no, I don't know about men anymore. We don't have men. We are looking for human beings. Where are the human beings of our land? I don't know if you're going to come in form of a cat, lion, or whatever. If you are a human being, get to work. We need to go. We've had enough. So thank you.
Thank you. Ndị be anyị daalụnụ. Ihe achọkụ unu ghọta, ihe mbụ achọkụ unu ghọta bụ na ndị iro anyị ji atụmatụ nkụri na nkụsa were mebie ntọala a na-akpọ Constitution Nigeria. Ihe mbụ ha mere bụ ikerisi obodo dị iche iche ma tụsasịkwa ha na steeti dị iche iche. Nke a mere o ji were siere ụmụnne na ụmụnna ike iji bịakọta ọnụ nagide ma lụọ ọgụ merie ndị ogbu mmadụ na ndị ohi ala, ndị ọcha na ndị Fulani. Nke bụ anyị chọrọ unu ghọta bụ na ndị be anyị chọrọ unu cheta na tupu ọgụ agha Biafra ebido, na ndị agha ndị mba Fulani gburu ndị be anyị ma sụkwa ha akwụ n'ugwu Hausa ihe karịrị otu ahụ. Ọ bụ ihe a ka ha na-eme ndị mba Southern Kaduna, ndị Plateau, ndị Benue, makwa ndị Middle Belt ugbu a. nke ite a chọrọ ka unu ghọta bụ na ọ ihe mgbagwoju anya maka na ndị ugwu Hausa ha emebiela ntọala eji achị obodo ha.
Ndị ugwu Fulani.
Ndị ugwu Fulani, ndị ogbu mmadụ, ndị na-akwafu ọbara anyị na-ekwu maka ha. Ihe mbụ ha mere bụ na ha bịara mebie ntọala constitution nke obodo ha. Ọwụghọzi ntọala Nigeria na-achị obodo ha. Ọ bụ gịnị meziri ha emebighị ekwo ihe karịrị afọ 20 years? Ọ bụ gịnị meziri anyị nwa ji wee si na anyị enweghị ike ibibi ajọ ntọala? Maka na ndị ugwu Fulani a nwanne mkpọrọ ha tinyere ihe a na-akpọ Sharia law. Ya wụ Sharia law na-achịzi obodo ha. Ọ bụzi gịnị mere na anyị achọghị ibibi ajọ ntọala eji wee kedo anyị agbụ n'obodo Nigeria? Ọ bụ ụjọ ka ọ bụ amaghị ihe? Nke a gosiri na anyị bụzi ndị nọ n'ohu. Anyị bụ ndị ohu ndị Fulani, bụrụkwa ndị eriri eri n'ezie. Anyị enweghịzi nkwuwa okwu. Ọ ga-elugo mụ na gị ga-ebini wee bibie ajọ ntọala ya ka anyị wee nwere onwe anyị. Ndewo.
Ndewo, my sister. My sister, Augusta, please go ahead.
Yes, so I'll start to see if I can put it together in Yoruba, but it's a little bit hard. I don't know what to call constitution and all that.
Why your constitution now?
Let me see if I can try. So Yoruba people like Joe, am I Pamio? I'll just try. All right. Nǹkan tá a fẹ́ bá àwọn ará ìlú wa sọ, àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, a fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká mọ̀ yìí pé àwọn Fúlàní, àwọn tó ti da ìlú Haúsá rú, nǹkan tó ṣe níkọ̀kíní ni pé wọ́n kọ́kọ́ wá, wọ́n pín wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ní pín ẹran. Ìgbà tó pín wa tán, wọ́n á dàárín wa rú. Wọn ò fẹ́ ká wá papọ̀, ká jẹ́ nǹkan tí a fẹ́ jẹ́. Wọn ò fẹ́ ká wá papọ̀. So nǹkan tá à ń sọ ni pé wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ kínní tipẹ́. Wọ́n ti pẹ́ tán ti ń ṣe kínní àdẹ̀mọ̀. Gbọ́dọ̀ àmọ́ bá a ṣe lè gba gbogbo kínní láàrín. So nǹkan tá a fẹ́ tí wàá sọ ni pé tígbà kan ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní pa àwọn Kaduna àti àwọn Plateau, àwọn Benue àti gbogbo Middle Belt. Wọ́n ti ń pa àwọn Biafra lọ títí. Remember nga títí náà ti ń pa wá. Nga tó dẹ̀ pa wá àwọn pípọ̀ àwọn ará ìbímọ wọ́n ń wò wá, wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan. Ìsìn ó ti di tọ́ọ̀nù àwọn tó ń pa nísìn. A dẹ̀ ti fọwọ́ sọ fún wa pé a ní láti dá gbogbo kìíní dúró. A fẹ́ kán wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ wa mọ́. So a fẹ́ kán dá dúró. À ń tẹ́ bá rántí àti 2000 ni wọ́n ti dá Sharia níbi sáìdì àwọn Fúlàní. Wọ́n ti dá Sharia. So àwọn Fúlàní ti lọ. Àwa ló kùn sí ká wá lọ. So a sọ fún àwọn ará wa pé àwọn Odùduwà o, àwọn Biafra o, àwọn Middle Belt o, àwa gbogbo South àti South East o, ó ti di dandan ìpè pa máa lọ. So gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa ìpè time ti dó tí gbogbo wa ká lọ. Kò dẹ̀ sí kankan tá a fẹ́ ṣe torí pé constitution 1999 òun ló dá gbogbo wa dúró. A dẹ̀ ní pé a fẹ́ mọ́. So I think that's all.
My dear, that sounds real to me. I don't know why you're calling rusty.
Yep.
Bravo,
Good job.
good job.
Balance is working.
Bravo. So, sisters, you guys can see we are serious about what we're doing. We want to be inclusive. When we talk about alliance, we're not just showing you a map. We're doing alliance. We are connecting the dots. Because the mothers of the land, you must get it right. You don't have a choice. So use all kinds of words that you can use, call all kinds of names. It doesn't touch us. It does not touch us. The lives of our children are endangered. So I don't know if you have seen a mother fighting for their child. You're even lucky that you're not around calling those names, because you will disappear. Before you finish call Asha, Yime Barakata Aba disappear. So you're lucky we are doing Facebook. Our children must live the best life. You don't have any choice. That is the way it's going to be. So get used to it. Get to work. Stop being emotional. They are calling men. Yes, I'm calling men. God left you guys in charge, and you allow a Fulani to come and take our land, and you want me to still call you a man? No, you're kidding yourself. Go get it done right. So until next week, take care.